Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Kevin Mannix called Bill duplicitous pond scum before he took the job.
Before he even had the job.
Yeah.
And Paul's like, come on, can we?
Paul's like, is it hot in here?
I think that's a little strong. The story on Patriots.com today, if you haven't already seen it, it's out there.
It's one of Mike's finest pieces of work.
I smell a Pulitzer. I really do.
People get really up in arms like, he says too much, Mike. Who might that be? My buddy Tony, who I'm going to see later on today.
Right.
Well, his plan was Garoppolo, and Brady ruined it.
Yeah, but then you should have had
By winning Super Bowls.
Right.
You're throwing it to a pile and you have a guy who...
The trailer.
Yeah.
he extricates himself from the pile.
Journalism words on me here today. I don't know what they mean.
Do you ever see those old ads?
Oh, yeah,
It's
right.
unbelievable. When the little lady asked for appliances, I looked around and did research. My
up the
findings,
computer.
Speed Queen. I'll never use it because I'm the man of the house.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium, and it's a big show. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. It's Evan, Paul, Deuce, myself, Matt's in the booth. Alex called in saying she got snowed in. We've got literally inches on the ground. It's weak.
Well, she lives
I'm
like
telling you right now, it's weak.
she lives like 3 hours away.
I don't care.
He always does this. Whenever we try to pick on Alex,
Weak.
he's always got. You always got
weak sauce,
safety
as the
first.
kids
We
say.
all
Safety
pick
first.
Safety
Weak
first.
sauce.
We
Leave earlier, drive slower. That's all you have to do.
So it was, I'm going to just give something away here. It was a historic week in the picks.
Oh, yeah?
Positive.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that's a
All
big
right.
tease.
One thing that I keep saying I'm going to do, but we haven't done.
Win your picks?
No. Do my 5 most hated teams.
Oh.
We still haven't talked about
Did
that.
you not do that yet?
No. We keep
We did it, but
teasing
we didn't talk about
But
it.
we
right?
never,
Yeah.
we get distracted, and I never end up doing it.
It's funny. I thought we did do that.
I know. We've said it a couple times, but we haven't done it.
Why don't we lead off?
Why don't we start off
Why don't we
with
lead
it?
off?
You know, because the team's been off.
Yeah. It's
There
not really any news today, right?
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
I miss any news?
a couple roster, practice squad things that came out yesterday, right?
2
I
days.
think that was a couple days
2
ago.
days ago? Yeah.
I thought I don't want
Who do
to get
you
into it
got?
yet, but I thought there was some interesting stuff on your show yesterday with Belichick in college. I thought that was interesting. Little nugget from Tony Mans.
Oh,
Yeah.
that he's looking at UNC?
I totally believe it. I think he just wants to coach,
It's interesting.
Could
But
be.
that's the program.
Well,
said,
they just lost the coach.
I know, but like college has turnover just like the NFL. Like there'll be a better job than
Yeah.
UNC in college.
UMass is open.
No offense to Drake May, but
UMass is not open.
Oh, it's not. They hired somebody?
No, but
Yes, the defensive coordinator from Rutgers.
I heard,
Oh.
though, if you're going for your master's in psychology, they have a good program. So, free tuition.
This is why they make fun of us.
I'll leave that there.
Okay. All right. Who makes fun of us?
They.
Who's they? No one admits to listening to this show.
Oh, that's a good
If
point.
you're in the media,
That's a good
you
point.
You can't admit that you watch or
I don't
listen
watch
to
those
us.
guys.
Right.
They
But
work for the team.
but
They're
they do.
compromised.
They do. All right. So,
Yes, sus.
so my top 5
Yeah,
hated
yeah.
list
Who
that
are they?
came
Can we-
out in the newsletter like weeks ago. Paul, do you remember what it was? Because I don't.
But Mike's got a pen.
Mike's gonna write it down.
I was
So
gonna write them down.
I
think
think
we're
most,
taking
I think
minutes now.
most people accurately predicted that the Jets would be one of
Yeah.
the
So
most-
from the
most hated.
bottom to the top.
Oh, I can't do them in order. I don't
So
know.
I think number 5 was the Eagles.
Okay, that was the one that kind of got me
Yeah.
by surprise.
And the reasoning for the Eagles is that they spoiled Brady's record offensive output in 2018, and their fans
Imagine that's a reason to hate the team.
absolutely,
I'm
and
not-
and
hey,
and their
whatever.
fans are bragging about being idiots.
They are.
You know,
Their fans are.
like it's unbelievable. Like to them, it's like this badge of honor to be just idiots and throwing. Everybody remembers throwing snowballs at Santa, but they've done worse things. They throw batteries. I remember after we beat them, in Super Bowl, was it 2004?
Yep.
And after the game, they were just literally just punching people for no reason.
Did you get punched?
No.
Because that would be a reason for you to hate
Yeah.
them.
But I saw it happen.
You saw people getting punched.
Yeah. And
All right.
for just no reason.
I'm coming around
just
on the
by-
hatred now.
so that's why they're at number 5.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4.
I believe you don't remember, Paul?
I don't remember your order.
Okay. I believe 4 were the Bills.
Yeah, this one also was a little strange.
And the Bills, I in the newsletter, I made it clear that when I refer to they in my reasoning, they often, means the fans. It's not just the team. So the Bills, I'm starting to hate them because, they think that they act like they've won something. They haven't won anything.
They've won nothing.
They've won nothing yet. But they act like they're the kings of the world. And look, they've got a great team. I'd be excited too with Josh Allen, but until they win a Super Bowl, don't talk to me. They're out taking billboards on Route 1 in Foxborough, and, screw that.
I do have to admit I don't care for that.
Yeah.
I didn't care for
Like,
it either.
okay, your AFC Championship banner. Why don't
Right,
you go
right,
hang that?
right.
We beat the Patriots. Yay.
Until you win something,
Yeah.
don't talk to me.
Yeah. I'm with you on
I have
that.
no idea who 3 was.
So
I know who 2
I know
and
2
1.
of the teams are.
Well, I know 2.
I can't think of the third one now. I'm not sure. We know one of them is.
People are like, you can't really hate them that much if you can't even remember who they are.
One of them's the Jets.
I'm trying to look it
Well,
up.
Jets were 2.
Jets are 2.
And number 1 was the Bengals.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, the Jets
Nice.
used to be number 1 for obvious reasons. The border war, that whole thing. Just can't stand the Jets. Their most famous fan, this Fireman Ed, literally abandoned the team when they were bad. And when he thought they were going to start getting good because they drafted number 1 and got a quarterback who ended up stinking, then he came back to do his thing again. He's a fraud. The whole they play in New Jersey. They're not the New York Jets. The whole team is a fraud. They should be the first team to move to Europe.
They should be relegated.
Yeah. Like, just cede the New York metropolitan area to the Giants and just move to Europe, okay?
You notice how he doesn't consider the Giants in New Jersey?
I know. The Giants actually train in New Jersey, too.
And they went first.
I know. So, but the Jets are just a fraud team. And number 1 is the Bengals because of, the whole...
This time, it's personal.
Yeah, I mean, when we had that incident where they claimed that our cameras, content, not football, were filming their bench. We were there doing a behind the scenes with one of our traveling scouts. We had permission from the Browns, it was their press box, to film in the press box. And, whoever was there on our behalf made a mistake by just leaving the camera on the tripod while he went to go eat or go to the bathroom. And, the Bengals were like, oh, they're filming our bench. Like we really needed to cheat at that time to beat their asses. But as a result of them, like after even looking at the film of what we did and why we were doing it and the whole thing, they still claim that we were cheating. That could have ended so quickly. And as a result, somebody on our staff got fired. And so I will never forgive the Bengals for not, we know what they were doing.
That was poor to me.
They weren't cheating. They weren't doing anything close to that. Yet they, we've got the Patriots where we want them. It was just such. So I'll never forgive them. But who's number 3, Paul?
I don't know. I don't know who your other team is.
Let me go up. Was it the Chiefs? No, I don't think it was the Chiefs.
I don't know how
Was
the
it Dallas?
Giants aren't on these
Was
lists.
it Dallas?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
it
you
was
know
the
me.
Cowboys.
Dallas.
And so the reason it was the Cowboys, and I explained, I have friends who work for the Cowboys, peers. But the reason why I hate the Cowboys is everything they touch turned to gold. I said, get yourself someone in your life that stands by you the way those fans stand by them despite no winning. And, that's why I hate the Cowboys, is they can do no wrong. The fans complain about them, but, man, they buy everything that they put out, and it's unbelievable. So they have it so easy. That's why I hate them.
Do you have do you keep track over there, Deuce?
So, Deuce, you want to run those
Let's
down?
just run that down. So we
Yeah.
have 5 Philly, 4 Bills, 3 Dallas. You said 3
Yep.
was Dallas, 2 Jets, and
Yep.
number 1 Cincinnati.
Number
is
1, Cincinnati.
Fred's
Now,
most
Fred
favorite.
Kirsch's powerless 5.
yeah, teams that have dropped off. The Raiders used to be up there.
That's the one that was really taken
Yeah.
aback. I thought the Raiders and the Steelers might have a spot.
Yeah, the Raiders, they used to be up there, but I can't be mad at them. They're not Oakland anymore. They're in Las Vegas. They're not the team that it used to be. I have no problem with the Raiders. The Colts used to be up there back when Grigson was and Polian, and all the stuff that, they started Deflategate.
They started it.
Got their butts
and all
kicked,
the Polian, changing the rules because, our cornerbacks were just too tough for them. I just couldn't stand the Colts. I had nothing against Peyton Manning, by the way. I made fun of him, but I respected Peyton Manning throughout the dynasty. But it was Polian and Grigson who was just
Grigson to me
just
was
a bad guy.
Like Polian, he was sort of loud and kind of arrogant, but I respected what he did.
Oh, he knew what he was doing in terms of personnel.
Yeah, it's a Hall of Fame resume.
But
Grigson to me was like, where did this guy come
and just
from?
say stuff about us, like screw him. So Colts used to be on it, but now, again, they've dropped off because they're just,
So I'll give you Fred's all-time most hated moment for the Colts. Was post 06 AFC Championship game in Indianapolis.
Oh, is this what I think it is?
Probably. We're leaving the press box. We're getting ready to go down in the elevator, and Bill Polian is there, in the middle of the press box, and it's just like, the Patriots had their time.
No.
This is our time.
No, it wasn't the press box. It was in the service tunnel. He comes running out.
Oh.
It's the Patriots had their time. It's the Colts' time. He's running out. Oh, he's like,
So
he's
this
not
is
exaggerating.
true.
It was
he was
embarrassing.
so in his head.
I had always heard that, and I was going to ask you guys about it. I didn't realize you were actually right there when he was saying
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Fred was right there.
Yeah.
I am taking a leap of faith. I did not witness this,
Yeah.
and I'm trusting Fred to
It's
actually.
the Colts' time.
Well, people were talking about it. That's exactly what I heard.
oh,
The Patriots' time is over.
The Patriots' time is
That's
over.
it. That was it.
And they went undefeated the next year.
Yeah.
Well, that made the 07 win there feel a little bit better after.
Yeah.
after that whole
So
thing.
they were on the list for a while.
That game is still the most raucous plane ride home of my travel career.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. So there's the list for those who don't get the newsletter. And if you do want to get the newsletter,
Don't. Shame on you.
so I've been told by our digital staff that in order to be on a newsletter list these days, privacy laws and everything, you have to agree to the sender's terms, privacy policy. So
we didn't look into this before we started doing it.
I had to get things done. So but so if you're getting the newsletter now, anytime you email the show, you're going to see a bounce back that says, if you want to get the newsletter, just agree to these terms, and it'll have a link where you just sign up. So even if you're already getting the newsletter now, email the show and do that anyway so that you can stay on the list. I mean, we've literally got 6,000 people that signed up for the newsletter.
Fun. I love it.
How are the Giants not on your list?
Yeah, right?
I've never had a hatred for the
question.
Giants, even though they beat us in those 2 Super Bowls. The way I look at it is,
Hmm.
good for them. They didn't do anything to
They just
piss
play
me
good.
off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like the helmet catch, the guy made an amazing catch. What can you do?
well, he's in the grasp, so
No, he was. Well, Eli was in
yeah.
the grasp.
So that's what you
But
can
that's
do. Call
so.
the rule.
So be mad at the
That's what it's
refs.
called.
I mean, the Giants didn't make that
We're
non-call.
5 years removed from the dynasty, and we've still never lost a game.
I'm
that
more
the
mad
referees
at.
didn't cost
I'm
us.
more mad at Asante Samuel than I am the Giants.
Oh, I'm not.
That's just
I
ridiculous. The Giants and the Colts are 1 and 2 for me, so I just had to ask about the Giants.
Yeah,
But do you have trouble? I saw that Colts team out there, and I don't feel the same way.
I didn't hate
Right.
the Colts. I didn't hate the
don't feel
Colts.
the same way anymore.
Polian, I almost called him Polian.
That's
Polian used to
Polian.
rub me the wrong way.
Yeah.
There was another game here that they beat us in a night game, and Flutie was in mopping up at the end of the game, and he's banging on the table, break his leg.
Right,
Yeah.
he was.
He was he was tough. He was
Yeah.
irascible.
yeah.
I think I
loser.
I'll start this with I appreciate Patrick Mahomes. I just appreciate greatness. I have no criticism of him really, but I don't the organization of the Chiefs with yay and the clapping and then us getting pushed aside for them to go up in the elevator. So the organization
you know that
and
happens every single game,
No,
right?
Happened to us last
some
week
more
for
than
the
others,
Thursdays.
but I don't know that organization kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, sure. I mean, but you don't think the Patriots rub people the wrong
Oh
way
no,
in
no,
the height of our
that's
powers?
what you earn when you start beating everybody's ass.
So I can't be mad at the Chiefs either because they're good.
I don't hate any teams anymore. I think like my just covering the Patriots and the football, it just doesn't. So all my hatreds are from the dynasty and from as a fan.
Yeah.
And so Colts, Giants, those were the teams.
Not enough bad things can happen to the Bengals, really.
For me, it was
Like, and you know what? I love Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
and it's too bad. He should demand a trade. He should get out of there.
Well, maybe
gonna get Andrew
maybe it's
Luck.
a curse.
Huh?
Do you ever think of that?
It could be a curse. I hope it is.
Yeah,
There you go.
they might be cursed.
And I hope I hold the key to that curse.
The curse
I think you
curse.
might.
Yeah, I hope.
curse.
I hope I'm the reason why they're cursed.
Yeah.
And then the Jets, like I can't, like I said, they're a fraud franchise. They're hiring Mike Tannenbaum to figure out what's wrong with their team.
Yeah.
Good for them.
that makes no sense at all.
So
Mike, who do you got? Chiefs
I
is
don't
one
know.
of your
I feel
teams.
kind of like Evan does though. Like I don't really hate a lot of teams anymore. I don't. It's hard when
'Cause you guys are nice.
I know. Well,
Me and Fred aren't.
I used to hate.
I have a lot of hate.
I mean, well, when the Patriots were in rivalries with teams and like the Colts, like, but I always hated like the Jets, like especially under Rex Ryan. Like they really got under my skin. But I don't know. I almost find myself, and don't kill me for this, but like I kind of feel a little rooting for Buffalo a little bit. Like I kind of root for Josh Allen a tiny bit. Like I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see Buffalo win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
and I forgot another reason why I hate the Bills, and I know he's not there anymore, was Rex Ryan.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he was so bombastic. Now, it was great theater, I have to admit.
Oh, it was great, yeah.
He was a showman. He
But
was
not
like,
really
oh,
for Buffalo though. It was more the Jets
well, that's true.
when he was that.
Yeah.
I thought it was great when he was with the Jets. I mean, they beat the Patriots a couple
See,
times, but it brought some juice to
See,
it.
I
Sign
never
him
liked
to
the Jets, but that little stretch I actually respected because it was the first time that someone stood up to the Patriots.
They were starting to
They
compete.
didn't just like crawl, go home.
Right.
They came in here and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
I don't think they were as good, anywhere near as talented as the Patriots. Like
Mark Sanchez,
they
game of his
fought.
life in that playoff
Yeah.
game.
Remember their marketing department sent all their season ticket holders a voice message
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Rex Ryan
Yeah.
saying, "We really need you to be
We
loud."
need you this week.
That was your game, right? The
So
board game?
so
That was
we
the whiteboard game.
We overreacted to that game.
Yeah,
I call it the grease board game.
Yeah, yeah.
So we were like, "Oh, they're going to be really loud." So all our, coaches came out with these white grease boards that had the signals on them because they assumed they wouldn't be able to hear, and it just backfired.
Yeah.
We
Well, that and like Isaiah Stanback was like the third wide
Yeah,
receiver.
Edelman,
that
a
day.
rookie, playing
Yeah.
for Welker, who had to sit out. I mean,
Right.
I literally remember that game, like just in LA, living where we live, like walking down to breakfast before the game started at 10 and like seeing like Welker's out today. Like I remember that feeling like, oh my, this kid Edelman's got to come in. And so I guess maybe that was, I didn't really think of it, but that's part of it, right? Probably because if it was Welker and Moss, like they wouldn't need those grease boards. They would have known how to go silent count.
probably,
Right?
and it was loud, but I mean, the Chiefs are louder. Indoor stadiums are often louder. It wasn't that
Yeah.
loud.
Well, don't you feel like, too,
But they
that's-
totally overreacted.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the point in like practice. I feel like your team gets the message of like, oh no, like wouldn't you rather go with the message like, screw these guys? They think they're gonna be loud. Like
Right.
we're gonna be on our communication. We don't need to come out with grease boards or anything like that. Like everybody be on their P's and Q's.
It was
and
almost
T's.
like, oh, if we come out with these grease boards, then we're going to be throwing them for a loop,
gonna
and
freak
they're not
them
going
out.
to know what to do. And it was just,
hi mom. Like
Yeah.
what do they say? I don't know.
For
just
me, it's the big boys: Pittsburgh, the Raiders, the Cowboys, the Niners. Hated them all.
Yeah.
Hated them.
So
well, you always hated Miami, though.
Yeah,
Miami
Miami's a
would be
big
the
one.
fifth.
I remember
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, I
Miami
get
was
the
my most
Raiders.
hated one.
Yeah.
I get the Raiders roughing the passer, yada yada yada.
But it was all the teams that dominated when I was like
Yeah, I get
Pittsburgh won
that.
in the 70s, the Niners
Right.
won in the 80s.
See, I was
Dallas
res-
was always
like
like
I don't have
in my
any hatred
face.
towards Pittsburgh because we just kicked their butts.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
like, why would we? I hate.
Yeah,
on
but
a
I
team
don't
that-
hate like I said, I kind of have a respect for the teams.
Yeah, so
that-
I have
like Baltimore. I've never hated Baltimore. I
Right.
know every other Patriots fan probably does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I respected the way they played.
Yeah.
They came and they played hard all the time.
Always respected the Steelers because I think the Rooney family's been good for football. Their continued success throughout all the decades, and also their fans, believe it or not. Because I used to tell you this all the time. I would listen to these national overnight sports shows.
I remember.
And their fans, win or lose, always come back. They never tuck tail after big losses. They came back and admitted defeat, and so like I respect that, So I've always respected the Steelers. I've kind of always respected the Dolphins.
I hated Shula and I hated Marino
Yeah, I love. Like, how could you hate Marino?
because he was good.
Right.
We're talking about rational. This is this is not rational.
like back
why did he hate the Colts?
I
Because the
know,
Colts were good.
but back
you don't
in-
hate like
No, I hated
Carolina.
I hated the Colts because we could have beaten the Colts with a rugby ball on that night, and they had to make Deflategate happen. Which
Right.
is still the
Oh, I
biggest
thought you were
farce
talking
in the
about like
history
the
of NFL.
rivalry.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't.
No, the rivalry.
That team wasn't a rivalry.
The rivalry was cool. I was all for the. Although
Yeah.
Polian, please.
He played a good villain. Like that was fun.
Overrated.
Like the border
get
war
outta
was
here.
fun.
Yeah, but I hated it because I took
Well-
it personally. I did. I took it personally. That Tuna Bowl, Tuna Bowl 1,
Yeah.
That's about as mad as I've ever been during a game.
great game. But
I wanted
I
to
was
throw up.
so relieved when we won that game.
Yeah,
I
I had the
because the
opposite reaction.
fallout if we had lost.
Oh, you found that out
our-
like 2 months later.
No, our work environment would have been miserable had we lost that game.
Yeah, I wasn't working here then,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had the same.
You were just
like,
a fawn.
recollection
The
of
fawn
that
on the
game.
stones.
That game wasn't fun. I wanted to kill them, and then they got off to a great start, and then all of a sudden the Jets turned it around, and it goes to overtime. They were lucky to get to overtime.
Oh, yeah.
Who blocked the field goal to get to overtime?
Oh, linebacker?
It was a defensive lineman.
I forget.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones.
Okay.
Mike Jones.
Mike Jones. Good,
course.
Paul.
Of course.
I think. Don't check it.
Yeah. Justin Wright said, I've never seen anyone hate a team more than Fred hates the Bengals. Never change.
Totally fair.
I won't. I have put a curse on them, and the curse
Kind of
remains
seems like
on
you
them.
might
Yeah,
have.
the
Yep.
Kush curse.
It's been a good year for you
Yeah.
because they're 4-8, so you're 8-4 with picking Bengals games.
That's right. Diana writes in, her hated most is the Bears. Back in '85, they beat the
Yeah.
Patriots.
That's a long
Agonizing. They did that stupid Super Bowl shuffle. They were such braggarts. To Miami,
Gotta
we
admit,
lose
they're
all the
Best
time to
team
them
of
in
all
Florida.
time, maybe.
But you got to admit the Super Bowl shuffle was kind
They
of cool.
put our
Yeah,
guys
right?
in a sweat box while they're in the shades. They're jerks. The Steelers goes back to Spygate, whiners. 4 Colts goes back to Spygate, whiners 2. And 5 Jets goes back to the whining Jets coach Rex Ryan that was so obnoxious when losing to the Patriots. But like Paul said,
That's good.
But
list.
Spygate
he
was
had-
more
so hold on a second.
Genie, but-
You hate Pittsburgh and Indianapolis because of Spygate, and you don't hate the Jets
Yeah,
because of
right,
Spygate?
I was
The
gonna
Jets
say-
started Spygate,
Yeah.
right?
Mangini. Yeah.
It's
Benedict
really
Arnold.
Tannenbaum.
Yeah.
Loser.
that's true.
All
Yep.
of them.
Mangini was the guy.
And Tannenbaum's been publicly apologizing to Belichick ever since on ESPN. Oh, Bill does it the best. I mean,
Do you think Mangini
they have the best
and
wa-
Bill
what do you-
ever
the
mended
best quarterback
their,
room?
No.
mended their bridges? No.
Nope.
Bill in California, I love Fred's list, but with one exception. While I used to agree with the Bills, I've come around. My next door neighbor is a diehard who has the garage decked out in Bills colors and fanfare.
Ooh, that's
Since I've
tough.
introduced myself,
That's annoying.
they have been that most outgoing, welcoming bunch I know. While Fred has a point, they haven't won anything big yet. They have won the AFC East several years in a row. I say let them brag. They've earned it. It's like the little brother finally beating the older brother in one-on-one basketball. Let them get their shine before Drake becomes league MVP.
But they haven't earned anything. Like, they haven't won anything.
No.
Like, you want to hang division title banners? Like, go for it. The thing that annoys me about the Bills, because all know I love Josh Allen. That fan annoys me about the Bills.
Yeah.
This isn't college football. We're not in Tuscaloosa.
But
all
I
right?
will- I
Like,
will- but-
just like act like a professional, okay? You don't have to deck your house out.
But here's what I'll
Bills-
say about the Bills fans, and Browns fans. Back before I worked here, I was the publisher of another magazine which covered all of sports in New England, and we did research on like fan clubs back then, and the 2 most active fan clubs in New England, besides obviously Patriots, were the Brown backers and the Bills.
Yep.
They had fan clubs all over. In Boston, the Bills would gather across the street from the Copley and they would have their watch parties there, and the Browns backers were all over the place. So they have a really good fan base.
They
Bills,
do, but-
Bills and Browns fans are loyal.
They have a great fan base, the Bills do, but they act like little kids.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to go out and wear Bills gear all season long.
Yeah.
Like,
So I have this is like sparking something in me because I kind of agree with Evan, and I'm gonna guess that you guys don't like the whole like decorating your rooms and your houses or whatever, like decked out in.
Well, as a grown man, it's kind of weird.
That's what I'm saying. These are
I
grown
totally-
men that are
I
doing
totally-
As a kid, did you have the NFL bed sheets with all the teams on it?
I did.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
I did.
But
yeah.
I'm talking about adults, like in your home.
Yeah.
Like you have like the room that you watch Patriots games in. I know a million people that do it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's really
The
weird.
man caves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not just talking about like sports memorabilia around. You know, like I have my footballs down in my basement around the bar and stuff like that. But I'm talking
With your
about
Super Bowl rings.
no, those are upstairs.
Those are-
Somewhere.
I don't have as many as Fred. Fred has the AFC Championship rings too.
Oh.
He's got the whole set.
Not all of them.
You're missing one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What,
Oh.
Putin steal it?
No, it's the one in Minnesota.
Yeah.
The one we played in Minnesota. I didn't get that one. I want to get it though. I'm gonna have to figure out.
I thought you were talking about
Somebody's got it?
85.
Oh, I don't have 85 either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you weren't here.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you didn't get. I wouldn't have brought
Donnie
it up.
Brosher showed me his piece of junk.
The 85.
Oh
one?
yeah, real piece of junk. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think with how excited they were, it might be a little.
Oh
much.
yeah. Yeah. What were you gonna say though?
No, just I agree with Evan's point about like it's not college. You don't deck
Right.
out your rec room with all like
Well, thank God
pro
people
stuff.
do.
Yeah, people have different
I get
strokes,
it in
different
Bu- I
strokes
mean,
for
like,
different
we,
folks.
we go to Buffalo once a year, Fred and I now, and there's nothing else like that. It's wings and it's the Bills.
But there's
And
there's a guy like right when I come home and in the height of the Patriots, he had like a big sign on his roof, and it would prop up on game day. Go Pats! Had like goalposts that would come. I'm talking significant amount of work
Yeah.
to do this, and I was just like, who does that?
Well, people
But
do.
I guess
people
yeah,
do.
different strokes.
And
for
then they
different
get on the
folks.
commercials for the NFL.
Just be adults about it.
Joel writes in. He hasn't received a newsletter. We'll look into that. Quick, my top 5 hated teams. 5 are the Jets. 4 are the Jets. 3, 2, 1 are the Jets.
Okay.
The
can
Jets get all the
appreciate that.
hate
That's
from
good
me.
hate.
Yeah.
The Jets, Jets, suck.
That's good solid. That's good
There you
sound
go.
hatred.
I'm with them. I think the Jets that they're rain or shine. I don't like them, no matter what the
I
situation
always
is.
felt they
like,
weren't good enough to hate.
Yeah.
So, when the newspaper first started, I would always write those little editorials in the beginning.
This is a good one too.
And this is back in the mid '90s. The Jets were putrid. So I read that the news clips that all teams send around to all the staff, about what the media is writing about them, they stopped doing it because the Jets were so bad and the criticism was so bad that they stopped distributing the news clips to the team. So I wrote in our paper, the Jets are so bad they're now censoring the news in their facility. So that Sunday that we were playing the Jets, and their PR guy comes up to me while I'm sitting there,
whoa.
and he's like, what you wrote isn't true. We're not censoring the clips. I'm like, well, you're not giving it to them, right? He's like, yeah, but that's not censoring. And the guy sitting next to me goes, sounds like censorship to me. And he just walked away.
Another one for Fred.
They hated
Fred
it.
used to get under a lot of people's skin.
They hated me.
Really?
Oh yeah. So the other thing I wrote in the paper, I was talking about the draft, how it's unfair that at that time, every year the draft was in New York. I said that wasn't fair because
Raised
people in the
city
crowd,
municipal,
it's
right?
all New York fans, and So I said they should come up with a new thing that the team that has the first pick, that's the city where the draft should be. I said, but on second thought, that'd be the Jets every year anyway. So again,
Gold.
we get a letter.
The comic stylings.
You're a member of another team. You shouldn't be saying this about another team. And for a while, I was enemy number one. At the
Picture of
Meadowlands.
him up in the
Oh, yeah.
office, like with darts.
Do not let this.
Yeah.
Do not let this man into the press box.
So the vice president of PR for the league sent the Crafts a letter about me saying that I'm a pain in the ass.
Wow. That's kind of
And
good.
Jonathan showed me the letter. He's like, I just got this from, was it Dan Brown?
Joe Brown.
Joe Brown. I just got this from Joe Brown. He goes, good job.
What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectful?
You had a thing with Joe Brown at one of the Super Bowls. Remember?
I don't. What was that? What happened?
We'll get into it another time.
No, go ahead. He's gone.
Hey, we're a bye week show. Bye week.
I thought it was Joe Brown and Leslie the Hammer Hammond.
Oh, he wasn't there.
We were trying to get
he
credentials.
He wasn't involved.
And then Fred
Oh,
is just
NFL PR.
like, up one side, down the other, like, blah, 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 and we were wrong.
Well, what are you talking about? We weren't wrong.
Because we were supposed to have gotten the credentials through our.
Paul, that was the year that there was no 2 weeks. Remember?
I don't think that
It
was
was
the year. I
01.
think this was in Houston in 03.
Maybe you're right, but all I know is literally the night before, I was on the phone from the guy who was in charge of credentials, saying you'll be all set. Just show up to the place tomorrow. Pete Abatani was his name.
I don't know why I remember Joe Brown.
So the night before, I was on the phone with him because yes, there was like, who are we? Are we media? Are we the team? Blah blah blah. So there was confusion as to who we were to go through to get the credentials. So that's why that night before, I was on the phone with them to make sure that we were good. And I was told by the head guy that we were good. We show up the next day, no credentials, and their excuse was, well, we're all tired. That's what she said. Remember that?
I do remember that.
And I said,
me, Brian, and Andy went, gotta go.
so, but did we get our credentials?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Covered the Super Bowl that year.
All right. But, I mean, like...
Mike, the Super Bowl happens after the
You got to
conference
go to one?
championships.
You went to it?
Yes.
My least favorite thing is when they which one was that again? Like, okay, all right.
Let me check my rings real
Yeah.
quick. That's how I remember.
I can start looping you into my text chains if you
No,
want.
no. I think, it was 04, Paul, not 03.
Yeah, because
Right.
we were
No,
right. We were in
it is-
Jacksonville. Let me tell you how bad the hotel was at the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, right.
it was
it's
miserable.
so terrible.
Which one was that? Yeah.
I found a picture of an old shot of, the Crafts used to have us, when they would bring the trophies out and we'd take pictures
When
and
they would
stuff.
win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So I have a picture with me, Robert, Jonathan, and Danny with the Lombardi. So I took a picture of the picture and sent it to Mike and go, Mike, these are Lombardi trophies. The NFL gives them out to a team that wins the Super Bowl.
I haven't even
We used
never
to
been
get
in the
these all the
trophy
time
room,
before you
let
came.
alone-
Right.
I know.
What's that?
I've never even been in the trophy room.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah,
me
which
neither.
is
Yeah, me
something
neither.
I would like to change.
I don't want to go. I'm
If
not going to go
possible.
till
I think employees
till
should
March.
have
You
a
want-
day where
you
they
wanna
get to
earn
go.
it?
I want to earn it.
Earn
yeah,
it, yeah.
Exactly. That's what we're doing now. Earn
You
it.
can't earn it.
Jack in
we don't
Annaba.
play.
I don't hate Dan Marino, but if one needs a reason to hate him, it's easy. He made a career out of throwing on almost every down and rack up huge passing statistics while winning absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he sucked.
If ever there were a player who was an empty uniform, it was Dan Marino. I
Well,
disagree
So
wholeheartedly.
I didn't like him because he was so good, not because he was an empty
But
uniform.
I remember as a kid, I loved Larry Zonka and Mercury Morris.
he
that
lit
tandem.
he lit the
You know?
Patriots up
Wow.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
So did it really hurt you when Mercury Morris was going on all those rants about
16 and 0.
them being 16 and 0?
So can I
and
just tell
he was
you,
pretty vocal about it.
and it was funny because I remember the 07 Super Bowl boys. if you might wanna listen.
Which one was that? Oh, right. Yeah.
I thought there was so little chance the Patriots would lose that game.
What's your fault they lost?
We're going to like these. They had all these different things, and they had Mercury Morris had a press conference about I forget the name. It was like undefeated, like the neighborhood, and he was so good at it though. Like it was not corny. Like
No, he was good.
he
Yeah.
was like a salesman, and he was really, really good to listen to, and he had all these things like why the Patriots aren't going to win because Miami can be the only team in undefeatedville or whatever it was. I forget what it was.
Yep.
Population 1, and it just went on and on. Like it was a real thing. It was like a real press conference. And
Yeah.
sure enough,
We're not going to talk about any of the
Giants won.
Yep.
the asterisks on that Dolphins 72 season, but
Oh,
it's okay.
you mean they were on the program?
Just all of it was just
Skinless chicken?
back
They-
then was a little fishy.
Who wasn't
They
that?
had an easy schedule, I'll say, but to say it was fishy,
A little fishy.
they won the vast majority of their games with their backup quarterback because Greasy broke his leg that year. Despite going undefeated, they had to play the conference championship on the road because back then they used to rotate the conference championship by division, not by record. So it's kind of hard to make the case that it's
No,
it's tainted.
Yeah.
They did have an easy schedule.
Edwin writes in, hated, Jets too many to list, Eagles Super Bowl win, general fandom sucks, Giants 2 effing lucky wins in Super Bowls, Raiders, Darryl Stingley, good one, Bears, refrigerator, Perry TD, and the Super Bowl. So that's his reasoning for his.
Yeah,
But
the Raiders thing is definitely that's
Yeah.
part of it for me.
But like the Bears, for example,
I don't hate the Bears.
There was no chance the Patriots were winning that game.
I was hoping.
I was all in.
Yeah, I was all in.
But
you got to remember, see, you're too young. Yeah. So
that's why I'm asking.
Yes. So here's what happened.
Wasn't even born.
The Patriots were underdogs in every game leading up to that in the playoffs. Yeah. And the first real NFL insider in the league was Will McDonough.
Yeah.
And back then he was on NBC. And he would give his picks before every game. And even though he's from here, he would pick against the Patriots in all these playoff games because they were legitimate underdogs. And he was he was wrong every week. And he was so mad by the time the Super Bowl came that, of course, he picked the Bears. But I remember that, we beat this team. We beat Miami. We can beat the Bears. Like, you felt like because of all those upsets that you already had that we're destined. We're going to win this.
But in hindsight, you have to realize how crazy it was to have that thought.
Oh, now it is. Now in hindsight. But when you're in the middle of it, like, we're knocking off these teams that are better than us.
Yeah, when they beat Miami in the AFC Championship, I was like, this is unbelievable. Like, they're going to the Super Bowl. I know they don't have any chance to beat Chicago. This is how I was thinking. I know they don't have any chance to beat Chicago, but this is unbelievable. By the time that 2-week period went by, I was completely convinced the Patriots are going to win.
Right.
And then, like, the first drive of the game, they fumble. The Patriots get the ball. I'm like, I told you. It's 3-0.
It's destiny. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Was the Patriots and We, you heard that song, and you're like, I don't know.
New
I'm starting to
England.
believe.
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe.
I'm lucky I didn't hear that because if had I, then I would say we have no shot.
I can't do
We
this.
have no shot. Speaking Fresno, favorite football person to hate was Rex Ryan. So fun to hate that guy, and I kind of loved him.
Yeah.
My least favorite.
That's exactly how I feel about Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
Great guy to hate. Kind of loved him.
Yep.
My least favorite person to hate was Peyton Manning because he was so great, and it was a shame he had to be our enemy.
Yeah.
Also, presently, my most hated team is the 49ers because of my hobby horse antipathy for the net neutral nonsense. I don't know what that means.
That is a deep cut speak that we're still talking about.
Oh, is that a
That's a
Purdy
shot at
thing?
Alex,
Is that a
right?
Brock Purdy
Yeah,
thing?
It's a shot at
it's
Alex.
a
From last
catch-22
year, right?
thing.
Yeah.
That's a deep
Net
cut.
neutral quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really understand liking Rex Ryan at all. I think that.
I think he's funny.
I think that guy's a fraud.
I think he's funny. You know who thought he was a good coach is Bill.
Yeah.
Bill respected him as a coach because why? Because he was a game plan guy.
Yeah.
Did he respect him as a coach, or did he respect his father?
I think he respected him as a coach. He didn't respect him probably as a person
Yeah.
for his bombast.
Right.
I just wonder if that's like.
But he was a game plan coach, and Bill appreciated that.
I just wonder if that's like a football family Buddy Ryan
might be.
situation where like
Right. He's part of the. He's
Mike,
part of
he
the
likes
club.
That might be where
because
it
of Mike
stemmed from.
Shanahan and like
Yeah,
you know.
sure.
Oh, he had Rob on his staff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like I think he legitimately thought Buddy Ryan was a good coach.
Yeah.
I don't think he liked him, like, personally.
Well, did anybody?
You know who I don't think Bill thinks is a good coach? Well, not as good as people think he is. And I could be wrong about this, but it's my sense is Vince Lombardi. I always get the sense that
I don't
Bill,
think he thinks much of Lombardi. I don't think he thought much of Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, I don't know about Joe Gibbs, but I always get the sense like, Lombardi, not
Just
worth it.
When he talk about him,
Players
just
Yeah, or
wasn't
he
the
wouldn't.
same.
He wouldn't
Yeah.
include him. You know.
Oh, I think, and this is not anything Bill's ever said to me and Fred, but I think the way he talked, it was kind of like he had better players than the other teams, and it was just a simplistic approach.
Yeah.
And I think Bill was all about coming up with outside of the box, like
It was a seal here and a
schemes.
seal here.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to run left. I'm going to run right.
which you can do if you're better than the other team. And I think that's how he felt. Now, I think he undersold Lombardi. I think it's not easy to be that disciplined. And obviously, he had a style that, what did they win, like 5 titles in
Something
the 60s?
like that. They were title town.
Yeah, they still claim to be. It's funny.
Yeah. Indiana man, I live in Indiana, so the Colts are my
That's
number
the
one
name.
hated team. Their fans were unbearable during the early 2000 rivalry, especially the bandwagon jumpers who thought they knew everything but didn't. They cannot lose enough. Can someone please explain why Gonzalez' interception was not ruled incomplete? To me, I did not think he survived the ground. If that was a receiver, I can imagine it would have been considered a completed pass. Here's why it was complete. If he had gone to the ground and no one had touched him, it would have been incomplete. But the moment somebody touched him, he did have possession. The play's over. That's it. Nothing can happen after he's downed. And so he was touched with the ball in possession. Then it came out. If he hadn't been touched, I think they would have ruled it incomplete, but because he was touched, that ended everything. It ended the play.
I disagree with you.
But that's the rule.
I think if he hadn't been touched and the same thing happened, it would have been a fumble. I think it's a catch either way. Like, he had the ball, took steps, had it secured, went to the ground by contact, in this case, plays over.
Yeah.
I think that was properly ruled, but I think if he hadn't been touched and the same thing happens,
you could say that
it should have been a fumble.
Yeah.
There's no.
But the act of touching him while he had the ball ended the play. It didn't matter what happened after that.
The surviving the ground thing is not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but it is. And his point about receivers, I think it might have been looked at differently.
But that rule, that verbiage, is no longer in the rule.
They still do it though, and I especially out of bounds drives me crazy. When the guys make the toe tap catches, they clearly have it, and then they tumble into the bench, and the ball might move. It should be a catch.
Yeah.
But sometimes they call them incomplete.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if the act of toe tapping is a football act,
that should be a football
If you
move.
have possession at that moment, it should be a catch.
Yeah, and if you have it secure, like if it's loose when you're going to the ground and then whatever, that's different.
Yeah.
But if you secured the ball and you have it and 2 feet are down, that should be
That's it.
a football move.
It's over. Yeah. I don't know. Alex in North Carolina, hate list: 1 Jets, 2 Cowboys, 3 Colts, bunch of crybabies. So.
I noticed with Peyton was like he's really funny and he's a really good actor, and that made him like really likable to me. Like
it made me hate him more.
Did it really cut the meat commercials and
issues?
I hate Peyton Manning.
We need a psychiatrist.
I would always laugh because I just thought Brady was a terrible actor, and it was like
that's why it made me hate it. It was
Manning was so good.
I was like, I get it. Everybody thinks Peyton's awesome. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna kick his ass in January anyway.
It's about football.
Yeah,
all right, who cares about your commercials?
Oh, have fun on SNL while we're at the Super Bowl.
That Peyton Manning sketch though, where he's playing youth football with the kids and just hucking the ball at them and yelling. It's one of the best of all time. Couple of
throws
those
the bullet off the back of the kid's head.
He goes face first. I mean, he's funny. He's really funny.
Brady night was therapeutic for me in that sense.
Yeah,
like seeing them both up there and like having the magic Larry Bird thing, and seeing that they like each other and and being able to exchange the war stories. It cleansed the palate for me. I was like, all right, Peyton, I can be your friend now.
It's funny, like that was my biggest takeaway from that night was that story that they told about working out together.
Yeah.
And it was like this whole secret thing, and Tom comes in and like what, a helicopter or whatever. It's like, what are you doing?
All right, 1-800. What's our number again?
855
500 is the TPX hotline here on bye week. We got callers coming in. Got to hurry because Paul has some historic news that he's going to
it's a historic week
impart on us later in the show.
Don't check the results because I didn't go back and look. But in my view, this was an historic week.
Okay.
Based on limited research.
By the way,
not at all.
Did anyone watch the Gerard Mayo sit down with Tom Curran extended interview?
No, it's tonight.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Oh, it is?
I'm
sorry. I just saw them teasing it as tonight.
Well, they might be airing it tonight, but it's already on YouTube.
Oh, is it? I just saw I saw one clip.
Yeah, I saw some clips from it, but not the whole thing.
Okay.
They're sitting face to face.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Intense.
I thought it was fine. No, nothing. No news came out of it.
The clip that's getting the traction is Gerard saying that he meets with the Crafts to debrief after every single game.
As any coach should.
I don't disagree, but that,
like if you're the owner, don't you want to hear from your coach?
That is being seen as everything that they do, as they're too involved in football. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the TPX hotline. Cole's in Minnesota. What's up, Cole? Cole.
Hello?
Hey,
Yes.
there he is. What's
Hello.
up?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Cole.
You should change your name to Cold.
Hey, so first time caller. I watch both the Unfiltered and the Catch 22. Shout out to Evan. I really love the Catch 22 to deep dive.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So as I've been kind of watching, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinion, but I'm watching Drake May, and I don't know, man. I don't like to do the comparison, but I really think this dude looks so much like Justin Herbert. And what are we, a couple years into Justin Herbert's tenure, and this dude looks bigger, stronger, more accurate. I mean, that's my hope for Drake May as it stands right now. I think my big thing with I know that you guys have touched on it a little bit, but is there some validity to just kind of going all in on the free agency for a lot of these defensive needs that we have, and kind of focusing on getting some depth in the draft as far as offensive linemen? I know you guys have talked about how there's not a lot of blue chip prospects, but is there some strength in just kind of like getting a bunch of guys in so we can kind of build the roster in more of a 3-year build instead of a we need to win right now?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Cole. I was listening to you this morning because you were on the Six Rings podcast.
Nothing good can come out
with
of that.
Andy Hart and Fitzy. And Andy had a thing that I talked about yesterday, which was maybe another strategy is to use this first pick in a trade, not for more draft assets, but for, another player.
I don't hate it. I didn't hate it when you said it yesterday.
Yeah.
And Andy brought up a specific player.
Yeah.
What if you could, get Micah Parsons for your first round pick and then give him, a big chunk of your money?
We can get prime Randy Moss next and then Orlando Pace.
Okay, see now,
if
he's not going to take it seriously. If he's not going to take it seriously, Fred, why
the Cowboys are going to trade Micah Parsons?
Well, maybe they want to kind of infuse it with youth at that program.
I mean, he's not like he's an old man.
No, but I'm just talking about.
But he's up. He's got to get a big contract. They just gave out a couple of big contracts. It blew up on him. Maybe I'm not. I don't know.
I love the idea, and I don't mean to completely jump down your throat.
It wasn't my idea. It was Andy's.
I love the idea of having an NFL player involved in the trade.
Yeah.
The Bears did the same exact thing with DJ Moore. I thought it was really smart. Instead of getting an extra pick back, they took DJ Moore from Carolina, and now at the time, Justin Fields had DJ Moore to throw the ball to. So I love that idea in theory. I just keep coming back to the same thing. I don't know if this is the draft where somebody's going to be really giving up a lot to come up to get any of the players at the top of the draft.
Well, that's the thing.
And so that's going to be the tough part for the Patriots. And I was joking with Barth. I was like, if I was Elliott Wolf, I'd be leaking that Shador Sanders is graded higher than Drake May. Just throw it out. Start throwing out tea leaves that Cam Ward is he's just as good as Jaden Daniels was last year. That type of stuff because you got to get those quarterbacks some love. That's the only way that these types of things happen.
Right. But
but I think it makes some sense. I don't know if you can pull it off. I don't know if any of these things are realistic. I threw out DK Metcalf.
Yep.
Can you get him for a draft pick?
That's more realistic.
Let's just say for argument's sake, you could make those, a trade or two like that. That takes so much pressure off the draft.
Yep.
Yeah. And then free agency we've talked about a lot. Well, who's the wide receivers available? It's kind of like T. Higgins, maybe Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
A
bunch of old guys.
An injured Chris Godwin. There's not
injured.
So my fear about Higgins is I like Higgins. I think that he's a really good player, but my fear is every team that needs a wide receiver is going to be after T. Higgins.
Right. Yeah.
Like the Chargers. They don't have wide receivers.
Yeah.
Might they look at that and say, "Wow, we won 11 games and went to the playoffs with." Quentin Johnston is kind of a disappointing former first-round pick, and Lad McConkey. We need some help.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's a good point.
So now you got to win a bidding war.
Whereas
if I can go to DK Metcalf, maybe I can give a second-round pick.
What was the year the Patriots gave up? It was a low first, but for Brandon Cooks, and their kind of draft was an unorthodox one because
they
used a lot of the assets.
2017. Right? I would say the other guy, and probably not as popular of a name as DK Metcalf, but Christian Watson in Green Bay. Just the Green Bay connection with Elliott Wolf, and he's coming up.
Is he up?
Not good enough.
He's coming up on his.
He's good.
He's in what I would call pre-agency, so the year before.
Okay, so he has 1 year left.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to have to give him a contract at some point.
Packers, I think, should hold on to him only because they've had such. They have a good wide receiver room, but there's some volatility there.
Yeah.
Dobbs, recently was benched because of conduct detrimental.
I love Christian Watson's game, and I think that he's
one of my back-of-the-envelope guys.
Great pairing with Drake
Watson.
May.
Oh, yeah.
That's a guy that can bring some real
Tremendous
down the field speed.
Tremendous athlete.
Yeah.
I think the thing is hard, too. It's not just the draft. It feels like free agency. You mentioned the wide receiver position, not a lot of choices. Not a lot of choices at tackle. Not a lot of choices at edge rusher. Like, the three big positions they need, it's not like, oh, you could have your pick of 3 or 4 guys. Like, it's
so you're not doing the Garrett Bowles and just penciling him in at left tackle?
Not yet.
I'm tempted by Garrett Bowles a little bit. But if I'm Denver, like that, you have
everybody said the same thing.
Like,
why is Denver going to let him go?
Second-year quarterback, like you're feeling pretty good about yourselves right now. I don't know why he's walking, but if he does hit unrestricted free agency,
that's the kind of guy I'd be interested in.
A bridge tackle.
And the Jags re-signed Walker Little. That was a name that a lot of people talked about him potentially hitting free agency.
I would like Garrett Bowles for a year or two, and then maybe you draft, a guy on day 2 that you like at tackle instead of using your first-round pick on a tackle.
Jacob's in Illinois. What's up, Jacob? Jacob.
Shaka.
Oh, another driver. What do we got?
I think he was
Hey guys, how we doing?
Hey, what's up?
Just beeping at someone.
I'm in the camp that Mayo is doing fine as he is. Yes, he's making mistakes, but definitely don't need to be firing him. But I definitely think we could be doing better with getting him in the coaching staff. And my idea is essentially having somebody joining staff to make adjustments to what our opposition is doing. I'm not really seeing a lot of adjustments to what our opponents are making adjustments. So my thought was maybe somebody like a resident Bill Star Lazar.
Okay.
As long as we're treating this seriously.
Yeah.
No offense.
None taken.
Is that it?
I see with it that he's not qualified for being a coaching is that he don't got a man card because he ain't going to the yard.
That's true.
So,
yep, that is true.
that?
I don't know if you can be a offensive coordinator without mowing your lawn. So, yeah, that might disqualify you.
I had no idea what he said.
Yeah.
I checked out after.
Yeah. Eric's in New Jersey. What's up, Eric? Eric. Wow, what's going on today? People just asleep at the wheel, or is it the snow? I don't know.
Fred, I love your second one when you don't get. It's like your dad being like,
Yeah.
you know, like mow the lawn. Like, Mike, you got to mow the lawn. Mike, now.
Mike.
Mike's in. Speaking of Mike, he's in Puerto Rico. What's up, Mike?
Doing well. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hey, Mike.
I didn't ask, but good.
Hey, on your Speed Queen talk, Fred.
Yep.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before or if you've heard it. Those are the appliances of record for Army Barrack.
Oh wow, good to know.
Another one for Kurt.
Of course they are, because they're tough.
Reliable, tough.
Yep.
Like that.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up on that. And speaking of barracks, Paul, any updates on Citadel?
Yes, TJ was accepted
Oh, there we go.
to the
Is he
Citadel.
going?
99.999%. Waiting to
Unless
see some of the
LSU
other.
offers him. LSU might offer him.
Waiting to see some of the other schools. You know, like if LSU wants him to replace Will Campbell, we'll think about that.
Yeah.
No, but yes, most likely,
That's
Mike.
great,
Thanks for
man.
asking. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You put in a call, Brian Kelly.
Congratulations.
Wish him the best. I mean, you should be really proud.
Yeah.
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 I really,
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. I'm scared to death, but I am extremely proud. Thank you.
He'll be a jarhead. Paul was a barhead.
Well, we all have our
Two-part
strengths.
question.
Yes.
Is it okay? Two-part question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so which would you have rather happened? That we would have gotten Adam Peters as a GM, Rabel as a coach, Kingsbury for OC, and Mayo for DC, but with the current draft that we have, or to have the current leadership that we have, but then have May, McConkey, Dominic Pooney, Bucky Urban, and Tyron Smith. That's the first part of the question.
McCarthy.
Huh?
He said McCarthy, right?
No, he said May as the quarterback.
Yeah.
May and
Who was the second name? He said.
I thought
May,
McConkey.
Pooney,
McConkey.
Urban,
Okay.
and Tyron
Got
Smith.
it. Got it. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't need Bucky Irving.
So the first,
player.
Yeah,
the
but
first option is some
running
real
back.
names. You got
Ranslow.
Adam Peters in here. You got Kingsbury in here. Who was the head coach in the first
Vrabel.
option? Vrabel
Vrabel.
was the head coach.
I have to admit, watching Monday Night Football last week, and I saw him on the sideline a couple times, and I was like,
Giving up 42.
So I guess he's trying to learn offense. Is that true? Somebody was talking about
With
that
Stefanski.
this year he's kind of focusing on the offensive side of the ball.
That's interesting.
Could be.
Yeah.
Stefanski's a really good coach on offense.
Yeah. I mean, I love Vrabel. I would have loved to have him here, but I don't know. There's a lot of moving parts there. It's hard to.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
So Mike, what's your preference?
Man, it's tough because I think I was actually rooting for that leadership combo, Adam Peters and Vrabel, with Kingsbury as a close second for the offensive coach. But obviously that would have been predicated that we had Mayo. I'm sorry, not Mayo, May as a quarterback, either May or Daniels, which is eventually what ended up happening. But I also see, like all of the other players that I mentioned, all of them were options that we had and passed on in one way or shape or form. Except for May, obviously we drafted May, but McConkey rather than Jalen Poole, and then Dominic Pooney, the guard that's playing really, really well in San Francisco, rather than either Leighton Robinson or actually no, it would have to have been Caden Wallace.
Yeah.
So he got picked after Caden Wallace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked
And
Puny,
Tyler
but
Smith was
I know the
just
guard.
up there,
He's
and
a
we
guard,
just-
right?
I definitely saw him as more of like a center or guard, so it wasn't really.
Thanks for the call, Mike.
He wasn't someone that was like high on my list just because of that, but he's
Versatile
he's
guy,
a good
right?
player. Yeah, he
Yeah.
can play all 5 spots technically.
Yeah.
He's a good player.
Dan's in New Jersey. Hey, Dan.
Hey guys. Did anyone mention when you're talking about most hated the Broncos?
Ooh.
Oh, I
No,
don't know.
that's
I had there was that 3-year
most stadium.
period there in the '80s that really ground the gears.
Yeah, that's one of
remember
Fred's
they
teams,
lost
though.
the-
No, I could see a Patriots fan hating the Broncos because that was a house of horrors, just like Miami
It's
was.
another one. I hated the Broncos in the 80s, just like he's saying, because of Elway.
Yeah.
Not because Elway wasn't good or an empty suit. He was
Yeah.
great, and he beat the Patriots every time.
Yeah. See, in the 70s and 80s, the Broncos were my team.
But the really
Coincidentally,
bad
they
one
were very
was
good then.
Not so much the playoff games, but Paul, you remember in '88, they were like 8-7. It was like the last game or second last game of the season. They went in there with Easton. He got hurt, and then Grogan, and Grogan was just a shell of himself. It was just hard to watch because of Easton, and they didn't play Flutie, even though Flutie had won some games there.
Yeah. So that whole time, there was a Mile High Stadium was sort of the Orange Bowl light. They just kept finding ways to lose down there. They had a playoff game that Easton played in, I want to say in '86. And they're down 3. They get the ball back at the end of the game, and he takes a safety. Like, he just, like, dives in the end zone and doesn't even try to, like, avoid a sack. End up losing that game 22-17. I remember that. Prior to that, they had, I want to say they had the Broncos beat late in the fourth quarter of a game, and the Broncos find a way to tie it. Patriots get the ball. They move right down the field. They're in pretty close to field goal range, and Mosi Tutupu, of all people, fumbles. And I want to say Dennis Smith picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown. They lost that game 26-19, as you were wondering.
Yeah. The Sterling
just kept happening over and over and over again. Every time at Mile High, something bad would happen.
The Shannon Sharp. Yeah, we're killing the Patriots.
That was here.
That one was here. Yeah.
I was here. I was at that game.
I remember that one.
I would just they were probably up on my list because of Brady's first playoff loss was obviously against them, and
that one scarred me too.
It's still a touchback. Like we can go there. I just that one hurt. That one was the first time
I only make a joke about it, but it's true. Like, every game that they lost was because of the officials. Like, I usually just joke around about that, like, kind of be snarky Paul, but, like, this is real.
Yeah.
He thinks the referees cost him every game they lost.
It was blatantly a touchback. Like, he fumbled out of the back of the end zone.
Blatant about it. You couldn't tell.
Blatant touchback.
Blatant.
Needed a big,
What
do we need a big
a
sale?
fantastic football play that was ruined.
That elicited the bake sale.
Yeah, no, you're right. It was a bad call.
Thank you.
It might have been.
It was a bad call, but I don't know if that's why they lost.
Well,
They
it was
were
a
off
big
that
turn.
day.
It was a big point of the game.
How about throwing the pick? You think that might have had a bigger impact on it?
Sure,
Yeah.
but you know what?
That was the
Call the
game.
rule.
That was the
The way
game
it's
that I
supposed to
made
be
Lane.
called.
We rushed home from going to a tasting for our wedding in Carpinteria. Like we were at we were checking wedding
Even
spots.
Evan
We had to
doesn't
go
do
on a
this.
tasting. They hadn't even done dessert yet at the tasting, and I was like, "We gotta go. We got Patriots player game." She's like, "What?" So we had to bomb back down to LA to catch that doozy of a game.
Andy had to miss that game. I remember he had a wedding. I think
that was a tough
his
game to
sister-in-law
watch.
got
You
married.
never felt good about that game throughout.
No.
Sister-in-law?
They were
his
losing.
wife's
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
Oh, see that from me.
Now, Paul, you and No Socks sat down with Gronk the other day I watched that. That was really good. But I didn't know. Gronk said that in that 15 playoff game, he was really sick. It felt like he had food poisoning, was literally throwing up on the sideline. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was he was a mile a minute.
Yeah.
Like, you saw it, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was
The fact
incredible.
that he made that 4th down catch.
Oh, yeah.
And now we
That's
know
when
it.
I turned into Chris Farley. Like, that was awesome.
I was like, wait.
I was super sick.
He
during
had
that
food
game, too.
poisoning?
Yeah, but I
crazy.
like, who knows? It could have been, somebody doing it to him.
Was this
Like at the hotel, like the
I
Broncos.
think it was the officials.
No, the Broncos paying
I
somebody
wasn't
off
going to say that.
at the hotel the night before.
Yeah.
You don't think this stuff happens?
Well, I
Just
think
like they pumped in the flu in the locker room in Indianapolis in 06.
Who was it? Who was it?
Remember they pumped the flu virus in?
Was it Rod Rust, who used to be the coach of the Patriots? He was so paranoid, like if they were at the hotel on an away trip in eating, if there was like a potted plant in the middle of he would take it away because he'd think it might be bugged.
Paranoid.
Well, I would just say that, when teams come here for playoff games in the good old days, and like you'd hear about the fire alarm
The
being
warm
pulled and
Gatorade.
stuff,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be like, good. Yes,
Yeah.
good job, everybody.
In Providence, yeah.
Way to contribute.
Well, Al Davis is famous because their practice, I think this is when they're in Oakland, might have been LA, but their practice facility had hills and there were some residential homes around it. And somebody said, Al, aren't you worried that people are up there looking? He goes, nah, we bought all the houses. So, did you get food?
I did not.
What's this, Matt?
Cheese pizza for you. I figured you didn't order food.
Oh, you are a saint.
Oh,
look at you.
all right.
Look at you.
Good job, Matt.
You are a saint.
Anticipate his needs.
That's impressive.
It is. It really is.
That's above and beyond producer.
That's unbelievable.
Because I was thinking, I
responsibilities.
didn't get to order food.
I was thinking about a sandwich.
Those were my thoughts too.
Oh, I'll give you a couple slices.
I was going to say, what are you worried
Get your
about?
scraps, Deuce.
You're going to have half a cheese pizza, like you do every
I'll
other day.
lick Fred's fingers afterwards.
All right.
Okay.
Well, since food's here, it's time to take a break. We got to hurry because we got a big pick segment coming up. Alex has called out because of snow. Weak sauce, in my opinion. But did she send her picks in? No, not even send her picks in. So the snow, like,
I don't know.
disabled her computer somehow? All right. Well, all right. We'll be back after this. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
It's another edition of Pats from the Past, and we're pleased to be joined by the best tight end in franchise history,
Paul, is it the best tight end in NFL history?
We're going to get to that later. I'm going to get that out of him
here,
later.
Paul Perillo here. He's number 87 on your scorecard, but number 1 in everybody's hearts, Rob Gronkowski.
Wow, what an introduction, guys. I appreciate that love.
Thank you for joining us.
I played
really
for the number
it.
1 organization of all times as well, so it was a great matchup to have the number 1 tight end playing for the number 1 organization,
That's awesome.
baby. That's what's up.
I tell you what, nobody's seen much of you. Like, are you in hiding or anything like that? Nobody's seen you at all. Like, are you a monk or are you like in a cave?
You don't do any commercials or anything?
Are you having fun, dude?
Actually, I am in hiding this week. It's Thanksgiving week. It's a holiday, so I have off, for about 6 days. And you guys actually got me out of hibernation to come here. But
Thank you.
That's okay because it was about 3 minutes, from the house, So when it's that close and it's that easy, I can always come out of the ground and come and say what's up. And you guys, have been great. And, my career started here. Without being drafted here, to this organization here in this building, I wouldn't be on these commercials that you guys see me on all the time. So appreciate you guys having me here today.
Do you like chopping it up with the Fox guys? Are you having fun doing that?
I'm having a lot of fun doing that. I'm having a lot of fun doing everything that I'm doing, especially the commercials. I know that's what you guys were talking about a little bit
but that
before.
and Fox, I mean, Sam Shepard, he's your new bestie.
Yes, and it's unbelievable over there. And these guys are such pros. It's kind of like me entering the room with, like, when I was a rookie, like how I entered the room, with Vince Wilfork, Tom Brady, all those guys, as a rookie. It's like when I enter the room, at the Fox room, and I got Michael Strahan, I got Jimmy Johnson, I got Terry Bradshaw, Kurt Menefee, Howie Long. Like, it's kind of like a similar situation. I'm a rookie, but like these guys have been on TV now for 25, 30 years plus. Michael Strahan's the youngest one out of the whole group, and he's been, I think, around 15 years on the show. And then there I am as a first year, second year, third year guy now, and I was just looking up to them every single day. Like, they're so on point. They're incredible with their knowledge. They know when to spit out facts and when to joke around. So just learning from them and just going under their wing, man, it was something special, and it still is special, and it's so much fun just working with them every Sunday that I'm on.
Yeah, good place to start. You talked about being drafted here. You talked about being a rookie in TV. What was it like? Go back to Arizona, and you're coming out. Did you know the Patriots were heavily interested, and what was that process like?
All right, man, let's go back to this process. I like that. And yes, I knew the Patriots were definitely heavily interested, that's for sure. But I had one of the worst draft visits of all time, and Coach Belichick talked about that before. I mean, Nancy, is she still here as well?
She is.
Yeah.
She still talks about it, that I fell asleep right on her desk right before I was going to go meet all the coaches. But to be fair, that was like my 17th trip in like 15 days, and I was super tired. And I had to get a nap in real quick, so I was sharp and on point, which that's what happened. But actually, that's not what happened, because I really wasn't that sharp and on point, and then everything else was just chaos that trip. So I actually walked out of this building after that rookie, that kind of like a job interview it was before you get drafted. You go and see all the teams and talk to them. I kind of walked out of the building like, this team is either going to love me and they're going to take me, or they just think I'm a complete fool and they already crossed me off their board. But I was in the back of my mind, I was like, I have a feeling that they love me. But so back to, going to Arizona and draft night and all that. So I wanted to go to the Arizona Cardinals, actually. They were the number 26 pick, because the reason was I loved my time at the University of Arizona. I was in Tucson. I was a Wildcat. The Arizona Cardinals were an hour and a half away in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area, and just the state as a whole, loved being there, loved that area as well. So I wanted to go there just because I knew how familiar I was with it and how much I loved being there. And then in the back of my mind, I thought it'd be kind of cool if the Bills drafted me because it was my hometown team. But at the same time, I kind of didn't want to go to Buffalo too, just because they weren't.
Pressure?
Yeah, the pressure.
Or they stunk.
Yeah, they stunk at the time. Just all that. I felt like just best for my career to just not go back home. Even though it would be a dream to go play there. Like when you were growing up, that was the dream. And then the other team was the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah. They showed high interest in me throughout the whole process. I had plenty of interviews with them. I truly believed that they were going to take me, and they were about to take me.
You were having fun in New York, and we'll get to that in a second. It was a scramble drill of epic proportions here for the Patriots to get your card in. Like,
Bill's looking around going, John Robinson is running around the room. Nick's running around the room. The clock's ticking down. They were sweating that out. Do you know that it was sort of chaotic by their standards here? Did you know that was going on?
Actually, that's something new that I've just learned, man. I didn't know how chaotic it was trying to get that in, but I know
they were hustling, dude.
That's pretty wild to hear that side of it, because actually thinking about it, because at the last second, because the Baltimore Ravens were on the clock with the 42nd pick. And that's like I said, they were showing high interest. I thought for sure I was going to the Baltimore Ravens, and the clock is counting down, and there's like 30 seconds left. And usually if a trade happens, it's usually in by now.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden there's like 10 seconds left on the clock, whatever. And boom, the New England Patriots trade up, with to the 42nd pick, because the Baltimore Ravens had the 43rd pick. That's how it was going down. They traded up with the. I think the Oakland Raiders at that time. So the Raiders traded down. The Patriots got the 42nd pick and took me. And I thought the whole time, like, all right, I got Baltimore coming up. I'm pretty sure that's where I'm going to go. But now that makes sense. They were scrambling, and that's why I went down to the last seconds, because they were trying to get it in and get that, trade in, which they did. And I'm very, very thankful they got that trade in. So whoever's, duties that was, and whoever accomplished to get that in, whoever hustled, who was it?
It was all of them. It was Bill, John Robinson, Nick. I mean, Jimmy D's in New York, I think, at the time, so they're yelling at Jimmy to get the card in,
Well, I just want to thank you, Jimmy D, for getting that card in on time, man. The rest is history from there.
Did you think you were at risk? Other people thought you were at risk. Were you confident that everything was going to be all right? Like, by all accounts, you never should have lasted until the second round, but people were worried about your back.
Yeah, that's 100% true. I mean, my back was a little damaged coming out of college, that's for sure. I mean, I had some serious back problems. I mean, they were serious, but they were kind of minor at the same time, actually. But all back problems are serious when you got pain shooting down your legs and you can't really move that much. But it was just a minor procedure where they take the herniated disc, they just chop it off a little bit and get it off your spinal cord.
minor procedure, man.
And the good thing was I'm young, so you heal quickly as well. And no, there's more major back surgeries when you fuse the spine together.
How many have you had?
And all that. So I've had 3 microdiscectomies, and I've been good since. I had my last one. Actually, that was my last surgery, which was here.
16, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2016. You're right.
You missed the Super Bowl against.
That's why I missed the Super Bowl versus Atlanta Falcons. But I also absolutely got level going up the seam. Earl Thomas, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the game, and I was looking at the ball, and boom, he hit me going full speed and popped my disc out. I mean, it was a football injury. You can't do nothing about it.
Yep.
I actually made a nice play after that and caught the ball to the 2-yard line on a fade, even though my back was blowing out and I was spitting blood out because I also punctured my lung on that hit as well. But hey, that's football, and you got to be a tough SOB, and that's what gets you, the wins and gets you far if you can take the pain, and I sure was. But we're going back. Was I at risk? Kind of, but in my mind, I wasn't, because I knew my mindset. I knew I was going to overcome the injury, that I had in college. I knew I wanted to be a professional football player as well, so I wasn't going to let anything get in my way. So when I was asked that question in the job interviews and everything, I strongly, with confidence, told them, hey, I'm not worried about my back. I want to be a tight end in the National Football League. I want to be one of the best tight ends as well in the National Football League, and I'm going to do whatever it takes, for my back to be solidified to where I need it to be throughout my whole career. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs with the back, but I always knew that if I stayed on top of it as well with the rehab, doing the core exercises, doing the right back exercises, that, my career will, be a decently long career. So I made sure, to some of the teams that I wanted to go to, hey, I'm ready to play. My back is not a problem. But the reason why it was kind of a problem is they were saying I had scoliosis. And I didn't even know what scoliosis was, because you get the MRI at the combine, so all the team doctors can check out your back. So whatever I have, I beat it. So scoliosis, screw you.
So you tell the story about the draft visit when you fell asleep. You also have a story about right after you got drafted. It didn't take you long to sort of get called into the principal's office, right?
No, it didn't. I've always, was a maniac, especially when I was a young buck, and I like to have a good time That's for sure.
What a moment that was, though, Rob. Jesus, you're
It
with
was
your
so
brothers
fun.
for crying out loud.
I'm telling you, it was one of the best moments
I can only
of my
imagine.
life, guys. And what's great about it is I was pissed I didn't go in the first round, you know. My mom's like, I never really seen you pissed before. And like my brother made a comment like that I didn't go in the first round. I was like, shut up, you know. I was just pissed. Like and I should have never even said shut up. I was just over exaggerating. You know, when you're mad, everything's gonna make you is gonna make you mad. You know, you're gonna be pissed off. And rightfully so, because I thought I was a first rounder, you know. In my mind I wanted to be a
clearly
first
you
rounder.
were.
Right.
Yeah. But in the end, let me tell you, it truly doesn't matter where you're drafted. It matters what you do after you're drafted. And once you get the shot, you know, it's all about what you do with the opportunity that you get. There's no doubt about it.
And now, great moments in history.
Yeah, we are.
What happened to the Garoppolo porn star? Has she made any headlines this week? I feel like she would come out and go on a show this week or something.
A show?
Yeah, I don't know. Go on a big radio show.
Ellen?
Go on, something like that.
Right.
Maybe not an Ellen, maybe like a Fallon.
He's
or
got a weird
Kimmel.
side to him. He's got a weird side. He's got
I
like
thought
this.
she would come out.
Yeah, he's got a weird side to him.
That's
I
his
think.
nickname. What's that? His nickname on the team is Dirk Diggler.
Why?
I don't know.
What stuck
I
out
would
about
have
Dirk
to
Diggler?
probably figure out why. I would have to click on things on Twitter to find out why.
Fred, have you? It's great, baby.
That's another great moment from
All right, you got a little taste of the Pats from the past, Gronk and No Socks and Paul. I highly recommend it. It's available wherever you get your podcasts. 49 of them done so far, right?
Yeah.
49.
Yeah,
49.
Big 50 coming up.
Yeah.
You got anybody booked? Nothing coming
Tom
up?
Brady.
I need to clear this up. So we've done 49 episodes, but 51 of them have been released since one was a two-parter.
Okay. Well, that doesn't count.
That's what I was telling Chris.
Yeah. Let's see.
Should have saved Gronk for the 50.
I thought this email was interesting. This is from Jordan from the Jungle. Personal anecdote with you guys listening to your show because honestly, I need the distraction. I'm currently at a meditation retreat in northern Thailand. Wow. This is Aaron Rodgers.
Sounds peaceful.
Deep in the mountains, practically in the middle of nowhere. Sounds peaceful, right? Well, not exactly. Right now, I'm glued to the toilet thanks to my overly sensitive stomach, which decided to wage war on me. As if that's not bad enough, I'm dressed in all white, sharing a room with 8 other dudes, and I'm dangerously close to running out of toilet paper. The silver lining? My body held off until the evening chance to open the floodgates. If this had happened during the hour-long meditation walk through the jungle, well, let's just say I'd have to change my name and permanently leave society. So I'm curious, what's your worst bathroom nightmare?
Oh my God, I did not need to know any of that.
Worst bathroom nightmare.
So I have to say that one of my phobias is going number 2 in a public bathroom. And it's because first grade, St. Raymond's in Providence, Rhode Island, I was in the bathroom and doing my business, and some of the older kids busted open the door and started laughing at me. And ever since then, I've been traumatized about using a public bathroom going number 2. Like,
I think everyone kind of is to some extent.
yeah, but that's really
assault, brother.
Yeah,
I always tell my kids, I'm like, live your life to avoid having to poop at school. Like, just don't, like, no, like, just avoid that.
You gotta
at all
go.
costs.
You gotta go.
Never once.
You've never pooped in school?
Never once.
Why?
Because of what happened to you.
There's no need.
Everett High?
There's no need?
No need to poop at school. No, I never.
That's why all the
I
kids
never,
are hanging out
ever.
smoking.
So you would hold it in?
I rarely went pee at school, let alone.
So you
They
really
didn't have
hung
a
dropped
hang
a
back
deuce.
then.
What do you mean?
You're
didn't
really
just,
hung
like,
up.
You didn't just say you had to go
Why?
to the bathroom.
Why is this just the
walk
cleanliness or no?
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
No, but what's going on here?
My Spanish teacher always knew.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Mr. Bogny.
What's going on? Why wouldn't you use the bathroom at school?
Because I didn't need it.
What do you mean you didn't need
You
it?
went at
You
home?
pee your pants?
No, I never had any issues.
You never had to go to the bathroom in school?
You've never gone more than 6 hours without going to the bathroom.
No.
No?
I've always used the bathroom in school.
But you've never gone more than 6 hours.
Well,
in your
maybe
life.
there were days here and there,
I
but
also don't pee on planes as a general rule.
it sounds like you make a point not to do it.
Because you don't need to.
I go
interesting,
I
Fred.
go
It is
pee on the
interesting.
page.
I mean, this
on
was
our
before
plane,
Diet Pepsi, though.
once a
Fred.
plane.
What do you have, like an iron cast bladder or something? Like, how do you not? Like, sometimes you have to go.
No Diet Pepsi.
No, there's something. There's something more deep rooted here.
Pepsi?
There's something going on here.
The number 2 would be completely out of the question. Like, I'm not doing that.
So what would you do? Like,
absolutely not.
I don't like doing it here, and there have been times that I've had to do it here. Usually, I go in the office.
Yeah. In the locker room.
the men's locker room.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just don't like. I don't like doing that.
Well, no one loves it, but like you just do it.
Yeah. It wasn't a
everybody.
Like it wasn't a phobia.
Oh, so
no.
You just never had the need.
No, and you don't need to. So why are you gonna do
again?
Why are you forcing it out?
And who's forcing it?
Taking laxatives or something? What are you doing?
What are you talking about? Like, there's nothing for like you. Oh, I gotta go. So you
get on
go.
this topic?
So
You've never had that?
I do have a disgustingly embarrassing bathroom story that didn't involve a bathroom. So I was at a party in Wellesley, near your neck of the woods.
No.
I used to coach in Wellesley, and I was at a party there with a guy that I played baseball with at BU, and leave there, and probably shouldn't have been driving, but I'm driving home on Route 9. Was it Route 9 or 109?
Okay.
Probably
I
Route
forget.
9. Yeah. Probably Route 9.
Could have been either
Wellesley.
Yep.
Yeah, Route 9, I would think.
So I just had to go.
Yep.
And I wasn't going to, that's like a half hour from Everett easy. And there's no way I'm going to make it.
Right.
Like I'm literally
So we're talking
standing
number
up.
2?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm literally holding the steering wheel and I'm standing up, like holding it.
Clenching your cheeks.
So I'm giving you the visual.
Why are we talking about this?
I had to pull over to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you use for toilet paper?
My underwear.
Oh, wow. That is real. See, now, I've never had that,
And then
but
I
yet
just-
I'll use a bathroom on a plane.
Then I had no choice.
Oh,
It was either going to be in my car or on the side of the road. Those were the two options.
Wow.
I can't wait till Chris Ferris so what'd you guys talk about today? I need topics for the headline.
Topics, bullet points.
Bullets.
Number 2.
So I remember the first time I ever went with a
like
guy
KJ?
to go
Obviously,
fly.
I left the underwear in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine.
I still have it.
First time I ever went with a guy fly fishing, I was out in I was out in Idaho, and he's packing up and he's got toilet paper, and I'm like, what's that for? He goes, oh, there aren't going to be any bathrooms, and we're going to be out there all day.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
Oh, okay.
See, I would have held it.
Yeah. Oh, luckily I didn't have to, but.
So you were able to do it.
But if I had to, I would have.
Yeah, so would I, as I did on the side of the road.
But you're telling me all your years of school, you never had to go to the bathroom.
Two. I've gone one. I didn't do it often. I didn't have to go to the bathroom often.
Wow.
So that was the side of Route 9?
It was
pretty busy street.
So that's why I think it might be 109.
You know how like you're
It was
driving
not
down,
busy.
you're driving down those roads and you see the cross because somebody, they marked off where Paul.
It's the little emoji.
Right.
He's so disrespectful. You're so disrespectful.
Paul,
People lose loved ones, and you're equating it to that.
This is where Paul defecated all over the place and left his tidy whities.
Oh, they weren't tidy whities.
Oh no.
No.
Got your
pair of boxers.
Boxers.
Oh. Yeah. Which was better because I had more material.
Oh,
to
sure.
use.
Yeah. Wow. That must have been traumatic, though.
It was.
Yeah, I feel for you.
It was, and I the moment that the realization came, there is no way.
Yeah.
I could possibly make it home.
I'm gonna bust open here. Yeah.
And I just said, It was dark. There's no traffic. It must have been 109, because there was no traffic at all, and Route 9's too busy.
And Route 9, you could find a place.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a fast food place somewhere.
But
this would be good for the news.
But you wouldn't do it in there either.
Of course I would have if I had that option.
Okay.
It was. Fred. It was.
I'm just wondering.
There was no holding
unattainable.
it. There was no holding it. It was coming, one way or the other, in the car or out of the car.
Eric in Maryland has the opposite mindset. He says, "Poop on company time, not your own time."
Get paid to poop.
Good, Eric.
Yeah.
That was bad.
There's some good bathrooms in this building too.
Oh yeah, they're lovely bathrooms,
Yeah.
and a lot of them the doors are such that no one can peek in, because that's another phobia of mine. Like people might be looking in.
Yeah, see, I'm talking about the solo bathrooms. So
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about anybody peeking in because you're in a solo situation.
Do you still have any conversations with yourself while you're doing your business?
I haven't since that one time.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, you kind of lose yourself in thought. and you just blurt things out. So,
Of course.
yeah.
Happens to all of us.
What's this?
I don't know. You have the emails.
So we're talking about number 2, KJ Osborne. No.
Eric Bieniemy just got fired from UCLA.
He did.
He did. You knew about that. Okay.
Yes.
Sleep.
He's
just
had more
happened.
jobs, that guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was he? Chip Kelly's OC?
Yes.
Well, not now, right? Chip Kelly's not at UCLA anymore.
I don't know. I don't know who
No,
the
that's
head
what he
coach
was.
is. I disagreed with
Is he
that.
the head?
Jesus,
Is
I
he the
love
head
Chip
coach?
Kelly.
Well, I don't know.
I thought
That used
Chip
to be
Kelly
my
was still at
stomping grounds.
UCLA. No.
No, Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator at Ohio State, I believe.
What the hell is Zoe
Right?
What? Who's at UCLA now? Jesus, college
What
football,
is
man.
Zoe doing? I used that, Mike.
Oh
What is
yeah,
he doing?
Deshaun Foster's their coach now. Alumni
old alumni.
hire. Yeah.
Okay. Dan in Virginia and Michigan says it's really been interesting to learn today that Kraft Sports Media saved money on its medical insurance plan by having its employees go on Patriots Unfiltered for therapy instead of seeing a professional. Speaking of therapy, I might need some after listening to this. Well, that's
We're
all
just
right.
here to help,
There's going
Dan.
to be some good emails from that conversation, I think.
Yep. Tom says, please send the privacy agreement as I want to continue receiving the newsletter. I think, Tom, now that you've just sent that email, you should have got a bounce back thing where you can do that. If you didn't, let me know.
Yeah.
And we'll fix that.
Yeah,
but you should have gotten a bounce back reply where now you can officially sign up for the newsletter and agree to the privacy.
Just get it notarized, send it
Yeah.
back to us on a
We
2-day.
need something
send
from
you
your
the duplicates.
firstborn. Dan's in Chestnut Hill. Dan, did you see the thing on the side of the road from Paul?
I was probably right in around that
Yeah.
area.
What's up, Dan? Dan. Oh, it's unbelievable, these kids. Kids these days.
How do you know? it's
Chestnut
good?
Hill.
It's a BC kid. Come on.
Dan, no?
How do you know?
No, nothing there? Okay.
What else is in Chestnut?
We'll go down the list. We'll go to Boston Cream. What's up, Boston Cream?
Hey guys, Fred, quick question. There used to be that 5-year rule for jerseys, and after yesterday's show, I'm curious, if you change your jersey, do you still have to wait 5 years to change your primaries?
Primary, I believe you do, but now they've got all these other exceptions. So I think there's ways to get new jerseys in there without that rule. So
And is there any talk to doing such?
I think that you should stay tuned.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh.
Also, my last comment is I think the show still needs a villain. It's not me because I love you guys, but the show needs another Mark in the Bay.
Okay. Thanks,
Yeah.
Boston Cream.
Was he
Yeah,
the one
we
that
need
used to
a Mark
call
in
in
the
with
bag.
Eric?
Oh,
Would
he would
attack Eric. Yeah.
Eric got so mad at him one day.
Yeah.
They had an
Yeah.
argument on the phone that me and Andy were just crying.
Yeah.
Crying.
He called in a couple times when I first started, still harassing Eric, and I remember.
Well, he had this really annoying voice, which I think might have been a put on, but
yeah, I think it was.
But he would come in like a real know-it-all, and the show can only have one know-it-all. And that's Eric. And so they would butt heads. And Andy would go after him too.
Oh, Andy didn't like him either.
He would kill him, and he stopped calling.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of those.
I don't know what happened.
Sorry.
I don't know what happened.
I blame Deuce. We used to go to Super Bowls before him too.
So true.
It's my fault.
He got tired of
It wasn't
winning.
Belichick and Brady. It was they hired Deuce.
Had nothing to do with Brady retiring.
A lot of people calling in about the newsletter. I hope you're getting the bounce backs.
Oh,
Oh,
we have an interesting caller.
look who we got there.
Uh-oh.
Francisco.
I'm surprised the phones are working.
That's a fun. That's a fun name to say.
Okay.
Oh, so she called in.
Alex from Francisco. What's up, Alex?
Hey, am I on?
Yeah.
You're on the air.
Yeah. How's
the first time doing this?
Have you shoveled out yet? Like, are you all right?
Thoughts and prayers.
You okay?
Okay. So, just for the record, I tried to come into work today.
Tried.
You guys might have to know I got 4 inches, which I thought was
Oh, my
a big
God.
deal. So, here I am driving in. Unfortunately, parts of the state I have to drive through, the greater Worcester area, saw 7 to 8 inches today. So it took me 40 minutes to go 15 miles, and then I sat with my car parked on the Mass Pike for another 45 minutes, and then I broke the law to get off the highway. So I wasn't just snowed in and being a baby. I fully tried to talk, but my commute was going to take 3 hours.
So Worcester got what happened? So you're west of Worcester, and Worcester got it worse than you got it.
She's way west.
Yeah, Worcester was supposed to be getting hit pretty good.
Worcester got nailed. Worcester got like 8 inches in parts.
Oh,
the hills. Right? It's the hills.
Well, you should have started last night.
Yeah,
you should have started.
I guess so.
Especially with
I guess
picks.
so.
With picks today.
I
mean, the show must go on, Alex.
Okay, that's why I'm calling in, guys. That's why I'm calling in. We're doing what we can. We're leaning on technology.
Okay, so you're going to be on the show via this call.
Okay.
If you want me to, or I can slack them to Paul.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you could stay on the line.
I mean, we could. You want to do a Teams thing? All right, hang up because we'd rather have you so people can see you.
Oh God. Okay.
All right,
But
I'm
wait,
gonna
didn't you
hang
say
up.
no girls should.
So now we're going to get to see Alex at the spa, where she's been all morning.
I was gonna say I'm not sure if she's camera ready.
I know,
So I think that's what that.
right,
Oh God.
right.
Yeah.
was.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got to get ready.
What was her quote though? Like it's hard for girls to be ugly these days. So let's
Yeah.
see. She's got to pull it together quick, Alex. Let's see.
You're just not trying, honey.
One way or another, I'm gonna get her. Okay. Well, speaking of that, Matt's busy. He can't play the. Can you play the music? Can you? We got time. Oh, what's this?
It's really 3 because they're at home. Will Denver ever play a game on the road? Separate the boys from the men. We gotta hurry. Lock of the week. We gotta hurry. We gotta hurry. What's the spread again? We gotta hurry. This is the song until Jill makes a real one. We gotta hurry. It's that time. We gotta hurry.
Not loving it.
It's like 2000s pop.
Not loving it.
What the genre?
It was third time. Fourth time's gonna be the charm.
Yeah, not loving it. What do you guys think?
No, I didn't really care for that one.
No.
But I would think it should go every week, like just a new genre. Like, could we get like a country
For that one, I
western?
was thinking of the people listening while they are cooking in their kitchen, dancing to each. Like they do with Mike's song.
All right.
Well, after that segment with Paul, I don't think anyone's in the kitchen, right?
Yeah. All right. What do we got, Paul?
No one else goes to the bathroom. Okay. So, like I said, I thought it was a historic week. We had Evan at 15-1.
Ooh, wow. Evan knew that going in.
One loss
he
was
keeps track.
What was the one loss?
You may have covered the game.
The Patriots.
Uh-oh.
The Patriots.
They let me down like that. That now I'm even more
almost had a
mad that they
perfect
lost
week
that
with-
game.
It's crazy.
Mike and Alex 14-2.
Wow.
I was 15-1 except for that game.
Is that
Fred
12-4.
Still good.
Is that an indictment on the league?
And Paul 11-5.
That's an indictment on the
11-5,
Patriots is what
and I'm
it's
4 games in arrears of the leader for the week.
Who is me?
That's I think that's a historic week.
I'm very good.
With the spread, Evan also won at 12-4. Mike and Evan also were in second at 11-5. Fred 10-6, and Paul 8-8. So here are the standings. Evan 133-62 breaks the tie with me. Let's see. Next is Alex 129-66. Then Paul at 126-69. Mike and Fred tied for the basement, so there's double poop emojis this
Wow.
week. 124-71.
I've fallen.
With the spread, still one of the strangest things I've ever said. Mike, last and overall, first in the spread, 109-83-3, really good record. Let's see. Evan is 108-84-3.
Coming for you.
Fred 105-87-3. Paul 104-88-3, and Alex 103-89-3. Now, also new addition this week, and I have it. Just I don't know if you guys can. Where's my one? If you can zoom in on
kinda
that.
white out
Probably
there.
can't see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. White balance.
Going to need a white balance. The first time that I actually charted the quote, folks.
Yeah.
This is your lock of the week pick.
Right.
From Fred. Didn't go well.
Didn't go well?
0-1. He had Atlanta plus 2.5. against the Chargers.
I thought I had the Bears covering. No,
I have Atlanta right here with a little asterisk on it.
I
This is
didn't-
why I
I
chart
didn't
this.
say
This is
the
why
Bears.
I chart this crap.
Go back and listen.
because I remember the Bears game. I'm like, oh, I got that one right.
You picked Detroit.
Hey,
You picked it.
All right.
Let's right there.
I believe you. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
All
with
right.
you.
Okay. Just before a Brit who's a regular listener writes in, his name is Chris. In your pick segment, I was wondering how you would fare if instead of trying to make an educated selection, you just made a pick based on a standard method. So if you took the approach of simply selecting the favorite for each fixture, then through week 13, you would have a record of 135 and 60. By my calculation, you are all behind the simple method of picking the favorite each time. However, when you look at the spread, it is clear the sharps know something. If you selected the favorite to cover the spread every time, you'd have a record of 99, 93, and 3. And obviously the reverse if you pick the underdog every time. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
one.
the sharps don't do it to see. They do it to even out the money. So they're very good at that.
Yep.
They're very good at that.
Absolutely.
How do they do it?
How do they do
know?
it? They know stuff. They know stuff.
How do it know?
Hey, Deuce, do you hear that?
What's up?
Those are footsteps.
Oh.
'Cause I'm coming for you.
Let's see you do 15 and 1 again, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
So that gets us caught up.
But is that a good thing that we were all so high and straight up? Like, is that bad for the league? That
Why
we're-
is it bad for
Predictable league.
Yeah,
No.
predictable.
It's 1 week.
No, we're experts.
No, but look,
All the
we're-
games were just. It was the closest week.
No,
in
but
the,
look
in
at
the
our
season.
record. Look at our records.
We've
Our
done
records
pretty
are good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the closest. It was the closest week of the season, as they breathlessly tell us all the time. Like that. Like that's supposed to mean that it's a good league because all the games are close.
Right.
So the games could have gone either way, and Evan picked it right 15 times.
Okay.
The fact that our team was the one that I didn't pick
Doesn't
right.
that make it our team?
Are you going to bring that up on Catch 22?
If they had
your
called a
performance?
chop block, you may have won.
You may have won. Yep.
16 and 0, and I don't
start
believe anybody's
timeouts
ever
for
gone
everyone.
16 and 0.
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Fred
Remember
went
that?
16 and 0. I recall. It was
Remember
like-
that? Perfect.
the
I think it was
07 Patriots.
2012.
I was perfect. All right. We'll start with tonight. We have to hurry. Is Alex back with us?
I've got her picture, but she hasn't texted me yet.
She was not camera ready.
Yeah. I'm telling you, she's at the spa.
I threw her for a loop.
You're right.
She's at a friend's house.
Not camera ready.
Oh, she's on the camera. She's looking good over here. She's camera ready,
Okay.
but she's not hearing us.
We can't get her on?
All right.
All right. All right. We'll start tonight. 8:15 Prime Video. Good game.
Good game.
The 9-3 Packers at the 11-1 Lions.
Detroit by 3.5.
Everybody talking about this is a good game. Even young Paul here today was saying.
Well, I
he's
have to
gonna
be on the
watch
radio
it, so he's
tomorrow,
gotta-
so I'm feeling
right.
compelled to watch this
You're
game.
dominating
You're gonna
the
have to figure
airwaves.
out how to do it though. So
It's not that hard.
Yeah, just talking.
Just go like this.
Amazon
Packers
Prime.
game.
Okay.
What's up?
I love Green Bay. I might be more tempted to pick Green Bay at home, but it's hard to pick against Detroit right now. And they're playing with a little attitude, a little swagger. So I'm going to go with Detroit at home. I will lay the points.
Yeah, this is a game I might watch every minute of. This is going to be a good one, I think. And I'm also going to pick the Lions. I can't pick against the Lions at home right now as much as I do like Green Bay as well. So I'm going to pick Detroit.
So, yeah, I'm a little worried about the Lions' injuries on defense. I will take Detroit to win, but I'll take the hook. I say they win by a field goal.
Yeah, I like that, Paul. Division game. I'm going with the outright upset.
Oh, nice.
So the Packers both ways. All right, we
We
move.
have we got
Alex
anything?
said Lions.
Lions. Okay, Lions for Alex. Sunday at 1 on CBS. The 3-9 Jets. By the way, you going to watch that Aaron Rodgers documentary?
No.
Hell no.
Even from the teaser, I don't want to watch.
What is? I didn't realize there was a documentary.
Oh yeah.
It's like what was the one that Brady did on Facebook?
Yeah,
It looks similar to
it's
that.
it's obvious that he thought he was going to come back from this injury and have a good season.
This was going to be like before the playoffs.
That's why he did it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Brady won the Super Bowl the year he did his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CBS 1 o'clock. The 3-9 Jets are at the 5-7 Dolphins.
Miami by 6.
Wow.
Miami by 6. I like that. I like Miami going back home. I'm going to take Miami. I'm going to lay all 6 of those points.
It's a tough one. Yeah, I guess Miami back at home I'll take to win. The Jets have been a little frisky, though. So I'm going to take the Dolphins They can take the Jets to cover. I'm going to take the Jets to cover. Division game, they've been okay.
I'm going to take Miami both ways. I think the offense just too much, especially down there.
Yeah, same here. Miami both ways. On Fox at 1 o'clock, it's the 6-6 Falcons at the 10-2 Vikings.
Minnesota by 6.
Also, Alex had Miami.
Miami for Alex. Sorry, Alex.
Boo.
Can she hear us? She can hear us?
I'm texting her for the picks.
Okay.
All
right.
It's crazy.
This is crazy.
Yeah, I still don't have a great feel for Minnesota, even though they've won almost every game. But I'm going to take Minnesota at home. But I am going to lay those points too. A lot of talk about Penix, maybe. Penix, a lot of calls.
You're going to lay the points?
I'm going to lay that 6 points.
Yeah, there are a lot of
playing bad.
There are a lot of calls.
He was really bad last week.
There are a lot of calls from Penix and for Penix, I should say, and I think it's pretty warranted at 6-6. You drafted the guy from the top 10. It's probably time to see him towards the end of the season.
Cousins a boatload, right?
They did. I assume that contract you could get out of it, but we'll see. I like Minnesota both ways in this game. I can't get Atlanta right though, and I feel like
I know they're that team this year.
Yeah, I can't trust them. I'm not trusting them anymore.
That's why they're 6-6.
Yeah, I will take Minnesota to win. I will take the 6 with the Falcons.
Okay, I'm going to take the Vikings both ways. And Alex, we don't know. He's texting her. He'll chime in when he gets it. Yeah. All right, 1 o'clock on Fox. The 4-8 Saints are at the 2-10 Giants.
Ugh. New Orleans by 4.5.
My God.
Drew Lock remaining at quarterback for the Giants.
Ugh, this is a tough one. Two bad teams going nowhere. I'm going to take New Orleans to win. What did you say the spread was, Paulie?
4.5.
4.5, yeah. But I'll take the points for the Giants at home. Maybe I think it's a close one.
Yeah, I'm going to take I'll take the Saints, but I'll take the Giants as well to cover that. The Giants are an interesting team to me right now just because of what's going to happen with their regime over there. I think Daboll's an interesting name. I think their defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham, is an interesting name. So I got my eyes on what happens there with the fallout with the Giants.
Yeah, and it's weird because I've heard so many different things. I've heard that they're definitely gone, and I've heard they're definitely back, the whole regime.
Well, the latest thing is I heard that Daboll's definitely back because if they do get a quarterback, they want him working with them.
So I think they've been all over the map. I'm going to take the Giants to win this game outright. Northeast game, Saints, dome team, bad weather.
Yep.
Maybe Drew Lock doesn't have to put that many. I thought they played pretty well on Thanksgiving. They probably should have won that game. That unbelievable play by the linebacker Overshown, I think, really turned the tides of that game. I thought the Giants played well for good stretches of that.
Paul, I'm going to split the baby here.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
You're going to take New Orleans, but you're going to take the points.
Right.
Paul, that was a very convincing argument by Paul. Now I feel like I'm wrong.
Well, I'm like in last place.
I know, but you're
fourth place,
right.
I think,
like
in
New
both.
Orleans in the winter.
All right, Alex is up. Okay.
Hey. Can you guys actually hear me?
Okay.
Yeah,
so what was your pick on the Vikings-Falcons?
I'm going to take Vikings at home both ways.
Okay.
And then Giants, Saints. I'm going to ride with the Saints and both ways.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
That catches us up. Okay.
All right. So now we go to 1 o'clock Fox. 3-9 Panthers are at the 10-2 Eagles.
Philly by 12.5. Panthers
ho.
have been playing some pretty good football
They
the
have.
last month.
Why I'm tempted to take that litany of points, but Philadelphia might be hottest team in the league right now. Sugar. I'm going to take Philadelphia to win.
How many points did you say?
12.5.
And I'm going to lay them.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alex. We can go back in order
Philly.
now.
Cool. This feels natural. Philly.
Philly. Wow.
I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. I'm going to take the Panthers to cover, and I have like a little Bryce Young thing. There was a lot of people that said that you can't bench the quarterback and then go back to the quarterback. There's a lot of people that killed the Colts for doing it with Anthony Richardson. They killed the Panthers for doing it with Bryce Young. Bryce Young is playing great football now all of a sudden, and he looks like a different quarterback than pre-benching. The mental reset did him a lot of good, and I think we need to get rid of that.
I think it helped Richardson, too. He's not playing great football. Bryce Young is, but I think he's played better, Richardson, than he was prior to the bench.
And this whole notion that you can't do that and that it was such a how rude to Bryce Young that no, they gave the kid a break and now he's playing awesome. He's looking like the number 1 overall pick should look. So give these guys some time. All these guys need some more time. People need to be more patient.
Yeah, I'm going to take Philly to win the game, but I will take the points as well. Philly coming off a huge win against Baltimore. I think a little bit of a letdown.
Yeah.
At home against a bad team.
It seems obvious to take the points. And folks, this is your upset underdog lock of the week for points.
Spread.
So now I have to split the baby and do 2 of these this week? Okay. So you got Philly and Carolina.
Well, what was the other one?
Well, I assume you have an upset of the week.
Well, yeah, but this is your points upset lock of the week. So the team that is getting points locks it.
Okay, so next week I'll have to have 2.
Yeah, well, you might have 3 next week. I don't know.
We don't even know where the night's going to take us.
It's what I think it is. So, so the Eagles win, Panthers cover, but I'm a little worried about this because this seems like a big spread for the way the Panthers have been playing lately.
They've been frisky.
Right. Well, it's also indicative of the way the Eagles have been playing.
I know, but I'm not sold on the Eagles.
Oh.
Yeah.
They were, where were they? Oh, yeah, they were 5th.
1 o'clock on CBS.
Good, Mike.
1 o'clock on CBS. The 3-9 Browns are at the 9-3 Steelers.
Pittsburgh by 6.5.
Well, I've been talking about it all morning. I watched that AFC North Hard Knocks last night. I like Pittsburgh. I like what they're doing. I love Jameis Winston, though. I thought the Part of My Take guys did a great thing on him yesterday, too. But I love Jameis. I like Pittsburgh, though. I'm going to take Pittsburgh, and I'm going to take the points, though, for Cleveland because I think Jameis puts up a lot of points for both teams.
Alex?
I'm going to do the same thing as Mike. Steelers win, Browns cover.
I'm going Steelers here. I feel like this whole Jameis Winston thing drives me nuts. You know it. Like he's bad at football.
He threw for like 800 yards when you combine all the receivers.
Yeah,
like he's just setting records out
guys
there. Guys
are just
bad.
like running wide open through Denver's secondary, and people are like, "Oh wow, look at Jameis!" It's like, look at Jameis. There's nobody 20 yards within that receiver. I go Steelers. I'm done picking against the Steelers. I think the Steelers are just good. So I'm riding with the Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking Pittsburgh both ways as well. I think they lost to Cleveland, and they remember that. And
Paul, you read my mind. This is where the Sharps got it wrong. This should be a bigger spread than 6.5. Steelers cover. 1 o'clock CBS. 2-10 Raiders are at the 6-6 Buccaneers.
Bucks by 6.5. A lot of 6s and 6.5s this week.
Yeah, I'll take Tampa at home, and I'll lay the points.
Bucks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucks both ways, too. I think the Raiders put it all into that Chiefs game and came up short. But I will say Brock Bowers is one of the best rookies I've seen in a long, long time. That guy he's the best tight end in football already in year 1 of his career. That's really, really impressive. But he's a tight end, so.
I'm going to take the Bucks both ways also, and pretty impressive top of that draft. Like the quarterbacks have all been pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Harrison and Neighbors, been pretty good. Bowers.
Yep.
Fashanu played last week. Fashanu for the Jets and was really good at left tackle because he hasn't played that much so far this year. That's a good.
They didn't want to ruin him.
What's his name for the Chargers? The Notre Dame kid, Joe Alt.
I would say that it's 1 year, and you don't make a draft in 1 year. We could look back on that draft and say that was a historically great draft.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good start anyway for that top half of that
except
first
for
round.
The top pick.
He's been pretty good too. He hasn't been.
I knew Paul would come to his defense.
No, but he hasn't been as good. I think May has been better,
and
I think Daniels has been better, and Nix has been better.
Yeah.
But did you watch the second half of that game?
He's good. Don't worry. I'm trolling you, Paul, and
you
took the bait.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
I know you had a good point on the radio saying keep Bill away from Caleb Williams.
I wouldn't want him anywhere near him.
He,
What's the number on this
pissed
one?
down his leg at the end.
6.5.
Yeah, I'll take Bucks both ways. Let Baker bake. 1 o'clock CBS. 2-10 Jaguars are at the 3-9 Titans.
Everyone's watching this game.
Mac Jones
lining up.
Mac Jones.
Tennessee by 3.5.
Two bad teams.
She can't wait to get her pick in.
Patriots lost both of them. I'm just gonna go Tennessee at home. I can't roll with Mac in this one. I'll go with Will Levis and his group. I'll lay the points.
Yep, same. Small spread too, so makes it easy. Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I actually think Levis has been not terrible at times this year, and I find them an interesting team in the draft because there's not any great quarterbacks in this draft. So if you're Tennessee, do you just roll one more year with Will Levis? Like, what are they a quarterback team? Are they not? I'm interested to see in that.
Both ways?
I'll go Titans both ways in this one.
Yeah. I'm going to take Tennessee to win, but I like to take that half point. I like the hook. I'll take Jacksonville to lose by a field goal.
Did you happen to listen to one of your shows this morning when the guy called up and scolded Hardy about Will Levis and saying his stats are exactly the same as Drake May?
It was Fred he was yelling at. Fred got all mad.
Do your homework for once?
Yeah.
I was they're not even close.
Yeah,
So
their stats are very close, though. The guy was just going by numbers, which is not.
They're box score stats.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
This is a rah-rah game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Win one for Trevor. So they cover.
This one's
they don't
for
win.
John.
They cover. Now, this week, we're going to totally skip over the Patriots until next week.
Okay.
So we move to 4:05 on CBS. The 7-5 Seahawks are at the 6-6 Cardinals. Cardinals might be looking ahead to next week.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Not a divisional game that they need to win.
No. Cardinals by 2.5.
Oh, man, this is tough because I like Seattle. I just feel like Arizona always seems to fade down the end of the stretch. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with Seattle in the upset of Kyler and his team.
I say Cardinals win at home, but close game maybe. Seahawks cover, maybe like a 1-point game.
Last time she did that, she nailed it.
Yeah, and then a Twitter user called me out and was blaming me for the loss, but I'll wear that.
You were right, though. This is one of those weird ones where these two teams just played 2 weeks ago, and the Seahawks won that game pretty handily. I would say shut down the Cardinals' offense. So I'm going to go Seattle again in this game to win. I just think they're a little bit better of a team right now, but some advanced scouting for us on Sunday with this game. So
I'll take your word for it. On Tuesday, you can let me know.
Yeah.
I'm going to take Arizona to win the game, both ways.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to take Arizona to win this game. 4:25 on Fox. 10-2 Bills against the 6-6 Rams.
Did you just open the window a little bit?
Well, I kept it steady.
Wow.
Neither opening nor closing.
Wow, that's
He's
big.
coming around.
That's big of you.
He's coming around.
Yeah.
Buffalo by 4.
On the road.
Correct. It'd be like a home.
It'll be like
game.
it'll be all Bills fans.
Yeah, this is a pretty good game here in the afternoon.
We'll get in their houses to get to
LA. I'm really tempted. I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I'm gonna go with Buffalo on the road. I think Rams are tough though. I think they got a good young defense and they'll make some plays. But I'm gonna take Buffalo. I'll lay the 4 points.
Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo both ways too. The Bills' offense right now is an unstoppable force, doing it every which way, and Josh Allen making that case, MVP of the league. So.
I'm going to take Buffalo to win. Kind of similar to the Philadelphia thing. I think a little bit of a letdown. Sunday night game, snow, San Francisco, a lot of emotion. I think they have a little letdown. So I'm going to take the Rams to cover.
I think the opposite, Paul. I think they come out cruising and never let the foot off the gas. Bills have an easy time in LA against the Rams. They're having fun.
They've scored 30+ in 6 straight games.
Yeah, they're having.
No one can stop them.
Football is easy for them right now. It reminds me of a team.
They threw a pass, and then the quarterback ran behind the guy and they flipped it to
right.
him.
It's right. It's coming easy to them.
Silly.
It's a little.
That
bit,
was one of the silliest.
That
plays
said,
I've
they
seen in a
can't.
while.
They cannot win the Super Bowl. It would go against the laws of nature. So, all right, 4:25 on Fox. The 4-8 Bears are at the 5-7 49ers.
Niners by 4.
Ooh, they need a win. Yeah, I got to go San Francisco at home. I'll lay the 4.
I'll take the Niners both ways too. A little bit of a bounce back, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I'll take the Niners both ways too. And this is my boy Kyle's had a rough season. I feel bad for him. He looks mopey.
Yeah.
I want to give him a hug.
He's obviously not getting the job done.
Fire him right
I'm going
away.
to take the Niners both ways as well. It's more of an anti-Chicago pick. I think it's kind of messy there.
Yeah.
But I'll take the Niners.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Niners. Well, obviously CMC's out, but that other running back they have is pretty good. So I think they're able to beat the Bears.
I think the other guy's
8:20.
out too.
What?
I think the other guy's out too.
Oh, is he?
24.
He had
Oh.
Mason.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
has
the
been.
I think he's out,
undrafted
too.
guy, or
yeah,
this-
Garendo, I think will probably play.
But Garendo's not bad either.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's fast.
All right. Well, anyway, I'll stick with the 49ers. 8:20 Sunday night, NBC Universo Telexitos. 8-4 Chargers
Peacock.
are at the 11-1 Chiefs.
Oh, it's a good game.
Kansas City by 4.
There we go again.
It's not 12.
I know. I am tempted though by the.
Here we go again.
I know. Well,
the
it's-
home team's 11-1, and they're up by 4. Here we go again.
I know. I was telling Paul. I knew he. I mean, he's playing the trends. I mean, the Chargers don't cover, and 4 makes it a little interesting. I'm tempted with the Chargers, but I just think weather at night on the road, divisional game, tough. I am going to do it again. I'm going to take Kansas City. I'm going to lay the points. 4 of them.
I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win.
No.
I'll
don't do
pick
it.
the Chargers. to
Ah,
win.
come on, Alex. You're killing me.
I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do the same thing. I feel the same way I felt about the Chargers Ravens game with this game. I just don't think the Chargers are ready for the big dogs. Like I feel like they're a good team, but not a great team. But I do think that the Chiefs are incapable of winning by more than like a field goal. So I'm gonna take the Chargers to cover.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll take the Chiefs to win, but I will take the points. I'll take the lack.
Folks.
I was thinking about it, Fred.
I thought about it too.
I thought about it.
This is your outright upset of the week. The Chargers hand the Chiefs their second loss, and the Bills are celebrating because they've got. Do they have the?
They would have the.
They
would have the number 1
yeah.
seed.
Make sure.
Right. I thought they
with 4 games left.
You're so direct, because this is.
Yeah. So this.
I
is,
thought about it. I don't think it's a bad pick.
Yeah.
No, I thought.
the Chargers win this one outright.
Chargers usually have a chance to win when they go to
Yeah,
Kansas City.
and
they almost never do, but they have a chance.
I kind of believe in Jim Harbaugh in these big games.
Yeah.
I kind of this is the missing link that
worried
the
about their
Chargers
offense. They
needed.
just can't score.
They needed that game plan
can't
motivation. So I think they get up for this game. Chiefs, Chiefs Kingdom will be loud. I get it, but the Chargers, they played there many times.
Cold. They're gonna be freezing.
Is it going to be cold that day?
I'm sure. It's
You don't
Kansas-
know. I don't know.
It's Kansas City in
It could
December.
be mild.
At night.
Could be mild.
At night. I'll look up the weather.
All right,
for
so
you.
that's my outright upset of the week. Monday night on ESPN, ABC, ESPN2, ESPN Plus, ESPN Deportes, and Disney Plus this week. They're really streaming this one out there. It's the 4-8 Bengals at the 5-7 Cowboys.
Well, surprised this one didn't get flexed.
Yeah, maybe
Anyone?
a little bit, but
let's see. Cincinnati by 5.5.
5. That's a nice number.
what do the Sharps do?
Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati faux show, and yeah, I'm going to lay the points too on the road.
Paul, just a quick question. When you found out last night, or was it last night, that the Bruins game was on ESPN Plus, were you as disgusted as I was?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago?
I would have had to have found out that the game was on ESPN Plus that night.
Oh, you didn't
I
care?
didn't know.
Okay.
No, I'm kind of
didn't get
checked out
alert?
on the Bruins. I don't think they.
Oh, they're
had
playing better hockey.
Yeah.
See, I don't really think they're winning games. I don't really think
Yeah,
they're playing
Joe
all that much
Sacamano,
better.
he's got him playing
Joe
good.
I played against him in high school.
Did you really?
They're
Hockey?
They're
No,
6
baseball.
and 6 and 2 with the Sacco.
Yeah, they're definitely winning games, but
Okay.
ironically, the best game I thought they played, they lost. The Vancouver game. It's the only game that generated any offense.
No,
All right.
scored 4 goals last night.
back in Chicago. What do you got there, Mike? Oh, no, sorry, Alex.
Bengals.
Alex.
Bengals. Lay the
Bengals.
points.
Yeah.
Bengals.
Okay.
You can get back and enjoy that spa day.
I wish.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, Alex.
Make sure all your
Oh, I am.
all your
All right.
radiators and stuff. What are the things
Oh,
where
yeah.
you cover the snow and then you get the carbon monoxide situation?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Vents.
Generators.
Clear
Your
the
exhaust
vents.
pipes?
Yeah.
Wow, Evan knows about car maintenance.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, he knows cars.
I know cars. It's the one thing I do know. Not lawnmowers, but cars. I'm going to take. I'll take Cincinnati in this game, both ways. I think it's funny that the league won't flex Jerry off of Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
it goes back to why I hate the Cowboys.
Yeah.
It's going to get good ratings because
Right.
they're fans.
Yep.
You know, they could be 0-12.
Idiots.
You're probably right. That's probably why
Yeah.
they didn't flex it.
Right.
Because they know they're going to do well anyway.
Right. Yep.
I will take the Bengals both ways also. I feel like Dallas is kind of they don't have much left.
Yeah. So what do I do with two hated teams? Who do I pick, Paul?
You'll pick Dallas.
No, I'm picking the Bengals.
Wow. We turned a new leaf.
What was the year
Bengals
that
are
the incident
one.
happened?
19.
20.
This has to be the first time
19?
since that incident.
No, I think I picked them this year, actually.
Against the Patriots.
No. I picked.
No.
I picked the Patriots that game. No, I think I did pick
So
the
you
Bengals.
want-
Bengals outright. Because Burrow said he's going to buy he's already bought the Batmobile.
He wants to buy the full
it's
suit.
It's going to be
too.
here in a year.
T. Higgins said he would wear the suit
Yeah.
to the club.
So because of that, I think the Bengals beat the Cowboys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, right at 2:00. That's going to be it for this edition of Patriots Unfiltered. I hope everyone enjoys their bye weekend. Get some red zone action in there. Catch 22 right after this.
Momentarily, yes.
Can't wait.
Thank you.
Dive
Alex is
into
in the
those
house.
X's
We
and
got
O's.
the other Alex is in
I'm
the
going
house.
to venture
A lot
to
of
say
draft
that
talk today?
Our show is going to be significantly different than the show we just
Okay.
did.
A lot of draft.
Not
You're
gonna
gonna
be,
you're gonna dive into the draft.
stops
We are.
on Route
We are.
Route 109.
This is like I would say day one for me, a monumental day.
Okay.
Where I actually have takes about the draft. I spent the bye week
Well,
watching.
Dane Brugler had his thing, so you read it.
No, I spent the bye week watching.
That cuts deep.
Alex, Barth
That
gets the
cuts
thumbs
deep.
up.
He was.
Freddie.
He
Barth
told the
likes
story
it.
of me in the press box watching Tet McMillan before the game on
I
Sunday.
saw you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can look forward to that.
Sure, you can.
Nothing this weekend, obviously. We will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.